Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Wrestling is Cool podcast. I'm Santi, that's Sancho, and we're getting word in right now that Sancho has a State of the Union, that Sancho West has prepared a statement for the Wrestling is Cool listeners here over on the Santi Zap Network. We're hearing this for the first time. Sancho, what have you to say?
I appreciate the floor. I guess I wrote this down, so forgive me because I didn't want to make any mistakes. So this past week, after our heated podcast with you, Santi, I went back and I looked at the comments. As you know, I'm in the comments a lot. And I decided to do a little reflection on myself. I went back and I watched everything I could. I watched the promos, the vignettes, the matches, everything, so that I could be more educated, more to make better opinions, be a better podcaster, some would say. Because at first I had it written off, right? I didn't think it was going to work. I mean, the last week, it made no sense. I needed to see the entire picture. So when I saw a man devour everything in his path, everything that he saw, definitely a star in the making, and the ratings, they tell the truth, the buzz, the excitement, the hype. And after seeing it all, I recognize, let me finish. I recognize that I was wrong, because I'm so happy for Braun Strowman to get season 2 of everything on the menu, baby. I'm so excited. Braun Strowman, baby. The Glaze Factory is pumping, baby. We are back for season 2. Yay! Woo! I'm so happy I got that off my chest.
I knew this wasn't gonna go anywhere. We were being strung along for garbage, folks. Welcome to the Wrestling is Cool podcast, coolest wrestling podcast on the planet. Of course, you can be getting this episode 3 days earlier than everywhere else on the planet over on patreon.com/SantiZap. Not only do you get the podcast 3 days early, but you get the Raw reviews, the SmackDown reviews, the PLE reviews, all of those with footage so you can see exactly what it is that we're talking about. The about to finish Ryback in review, the currently about to finish, thank goodness. I think even the people of the Patreon are like, we need to move on from the Ryback in review. We just started the first episode released this past Sunday of NXT TakeOver's main event ranked, where I am going back in time to watch every single NXT TakeOver main event from the very first one with NXT TakeOver all the way through to the very last one. So come join me on that journey. Not only are we watching them together, but we're also going to be ranking them so that there's a definitive worst to best list there at the end. But you're also getting, of course, all the completed series, like the Undertaker WrestleMania matches ranked, the John Cena World Championship wins and losses ranked, the Royal Rumble matches, men's and women's, all of them on the Patreon, watched and ranked, and more. So go check it out, patreon.com/SantiZap. Remember, just $5 doesn't just get you in the door, it gets you everything in terms of content. So come check it out. I know that there's a lot of you coming back to professional wrestling with Royal Rumble and WrestleMania season. So if you need to get more of that wrestling, then make sure you come over to the Patreon, where we will caress you and love you with wrestling content every single day.
Io and Rhea?
Yes.
You know what Io?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. We should be more like that.
We should take lessons. I mean, we were more like Asuka and Kairi. You know that whole thing with Maxine and Natalya when that was happening? I was like, look, that's Santi berating me with questions. Natalya and Maxine.
Well, I mean, if I'm Natalya, then yeah, man, like Maxine, just answer the damn question, Maxine. Why can't you give a straight answer and you keep deflecting everything that I'm asking? God damn it. So yeah, I totally vibe with Natalya there.
I do a little kip up. Boom, and they go, whoo, and they go,
Braun Strowman shirt underneath.
yeah.
Actually, you know what? I want to talk about the Natalya thing. We didn't even put it on the list here of our rundown here for the show. My goodness, Sancho, what a telegraphed heel turn. Like this, oh my goodness. It was so blatantly telegraphed, like from the back, like we haven't seen Natalya in months. And she's like, hey, I'm here. I just want to make sure that you don't get screwed over again like last week. So I'm going to be ringside with the biggest smile. It's like, oh brother, here we go. Like, I think the heel turn is necessary. Natty Neidhart, you know, the Loki legend, that's great. But like, dude, it comes to a point where like try to hide it, at least attempt these like overly nice attempts at acting, like when Nikki Bella was trying to be overly friendly with Stephanie Vaquer was it just doesn't work. It would have been way better if Natalya just showed up out of nowhere and attacked Maxine and caused Maxine to lose, but that was maybe the most telegraphed but maybe like necessary heel turn, giving Maxine somebody to feud with after Becky Lynch, which is a good thing, like it's not like she's going to disappear into the abyss, which tends to happen, unfortunately, with the Maxine types of the world. At least she's going to have something, but my goodness, I think that was the most telegraphed heel turn of the year, even though the year's only, 3 weeks long.
20 days long. What is also the worst like telegraphed heel turn in existence lately? I mean, that's a big question there, right?
I mean, the Nikki Bella one comes to mind.
Yeah, Nikki Bella. I mean, the New Day was not. That was a out of left. No,
that was just
blindside. Awesome. That was awesome. I'm trying to think of other ones. How did Chad Gable turn heel? I don't remember how that happened.
I think he just started berating Otis. I think that was just like a slow burn backstage as opposed to like just like a big heel turn.
I'm thinking. I mean, I don't remember when Sami Zayn turned heel when he was a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, I don't really remember that either. Dominic, that was kind of telegraphed, but it was cool. It was still cool, him going out against Edge Clash. You like it's time, right? You had Rhea Ripley in his ear a bunch of times in the lead up. So I would say that one was telegraphed. So I guess that one does go to show that maybe telegraphed isn't the worst. But
you're saying in the performance, because she was like overly cheering. She was like, let's go, Maxine.
Yeah, with Dominic, it was telegraphed in the sense that like we knew that was kind of the next natural step in the storytelling. So it wasn't telegraphed by poor acting. I'd say that this was telegraphed with the over niceness, unnecessarily large smile. This was telegraphed by the acting, I would say.
You had the Finn Balor one. That was a surprise. That was against Damian. Yeah, that was a little bit of a surprise. I mean, I'm trying to think of other ones. Oh, the biggest surprise shock is the heel turn of Dom and Liv. That
was huge. The heel squared for sure.
Yeah.
Now, I'll say this about the Natalya and Maxine, like all that whole thing, because it's just not going to take up a huge portion of our show. I think for me, my biggest gripe with it was WWE's inability to actually like build their relationship to make the heel turn actually like matter. Had they actually had like a good on-screen mentor and student relationship. I know they had those vignettes, but like that didn't really show us their relationship. That didn't really make us care about
like Michael Bay type of vignette, because there's too many hard cuts in it.
Too many hard cuts. If they had done, a couple, maybe Natalya had been there in backstage for every post-match with Becky, giving advice, being a support
Arn
structure.
Anderson. Yeah. Arn Anderson type
But she
coach.
Just appeared like, hey, how's it going, my guy? I'm here for your match.
How's it going, my guy?
It just wasn't executed very well. But I think it's necessary. I think it's good for Natalya, and it's good for Maxine to have a next step from here, because I think she's done with the Intercontinental Championship.
Oh, and then you have the Seth Rollins heel turn at Mania, joining Paul Heyman's side. That was big.
Yeah. Was he not already? No, he wasn't.
No,
he was a full blown babyface.
He was righteous. He was like complaining. He was like wronged a lot.
Yeah.
So he was
a heel to Punk. I think that's what it was. To Punk, but not a heel in the traditional sense.
Trying to think of because right now they had the heel turn of Charlotte and Alexa. That's the next big one, right? That's the one that we're waiting for.
What about Io and Rhea? Like we were just talking about that. Like I feel like that at some point is gonna have to necessitate a heel turn. It might not be telegraphed, but I think it's kind of like a Dom Mysterio where like, okay, what's next? One of you needs to turn, and we know we'll probably like see it coming. We just maybe don't know which one of you is gonna do it to who.
It's the Rumble, dude. It's the Rumble season. There's always that heel turn, the tag teams going into the Rumble, and they're going to go, oh, I'm going to try 3. I'm going to go, oh, I didn't beat it. My bad. Hey, every man for themselves type of vibe.
Did you notice that in the Women's Rumble, Like they've done a bunch of the like I'm joining the Royal Rumble. For the Women's Rumble, correct me if I'm wrong, all of the announcements were women from the women's tag team division. That's how stacked with single stars the women's tag team division is. So Rhea Ripley and Io Sky, Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez. So there's a big tag team there. The Kabuki Warriors announced. Lyra Valkyria and Bailey both announced. Am I missing anybody else? I'm sure we're going to get Charlexa. They're going to be in there.
And then Nia and Lash.
Yeah. Like, dude, sure. I think this will remind everybody because I feel like people are starting to get too used to this tag team division. I think once you see it all play out in the Rumble, you'll see like just how stacked that women's tag team division is, that it's overkill. We need some of those names in the singles division.
It's about almost half a Rumble in the tag division.
It's going to end up being like half a Rumble because all of those names, because you could even say like Kiana James and Julia, they just had a #1 contendership match. So like they're probably both going to be in the Rumble as well. So yeah, I think we're looking at like half the Rumble being in the women's tag team division, which is crazy. Like imagine like saying that for the men. Yeah, half the Rumble is going to be the tag team division. People would complain people would say that's a Java Rumble.
The MFTs. Truly, now that you said that, one of the worst Royal Rumbles was when it was filled with a bunch of tag teams.
Yeah.
It was like the Rockers, and you're just like, oh my God, what's going on here? The not the Rockers, the Head Shrinkers, the Head Rockers.
Oh, yeah.
Headbangers. There it is. I got there. I said all the different tag teams except the Headbangers. Yes, the Headbangers, dude. Where like that was one of those worst Rumbles when you get a lot of mid-carders in there because you said it. The whole thing about the Rumble is, can this person who win a championship title? That's the biggest thing. And that's why we were like about Jey Uso, because sure he won, but it's like we wanted something bigger out of that Rumble because it was being touted as the greatest Royal Rumble of all time. And so when Jey Uso wins, you're like, I guess he could beat Gunther, like I guess.
And then he goes and sleeps him, taps him out to his own move. Unbelievable. Okay, well, in that vein, we have the Royal Rumble coming up. We've had. Sorry, go ahead.
Jey Uso's babyface turn was surprised. Remember that one when he was just like him and Jimmy? They turned on Roman.
Oh yeah. You out? Then I'm out too. Wepa.
And then the telegraphed one to continue the conversation. Sami Zayn against the Bloodline.
Yeah,
it's
like this needs to happen, but it wasn't like, oh, here we go, Sammy acting babyface-ish all of a sudden. That was just great acting. But it's like, you a great movie doesn't mean it's an unpredictable movie. You could see the ending of a movie coming a mile away, and almost there are scenarios where if that ending doesn't come around, it leaves you unsatisfied and bewildered, and like why would they take this creative decision instead? And that would have been the Sami Zayn one. Like if he didn't turn heel, if he just stayed with the Bloodline, if he kept going, if he never turned babyface, I think we would have been in that scenario. It was like, why didn't they just do the like really obvious easy thing that we all wanted instead of the
layup?
Yeah, sometimes just take the 2 points. I hate the NBA now, man. It's all looking for 3-pointers. It's super frustrating basketball, man. That's old man yells at clouds. That is not my basketball.
Why kick it out for 3 when you have the layup right there?
It's right there, man. It makes players like DeRozan useless, who are just the masters of the short ball. Crazy.
Back to Toronto.
He's not there anymore. I'm just saying. That is a Toronto legend who we sacrificed to the gods of Hades to bring in Kawhi Leonard for a 1-year rental, who brought us a championship. Shout out to Kawhi Leonard, man, greatest Raptor of all time.
I know we're derailing a little bit of the show, but what superstar in the world of wrestling could we sacrifice? What Kawhi Leonard could come into the WWE? Like,
okay, first and foremost, we need to identify the Kawhi Leonard. Identify the Kawhi Leonard for me, because that's really, really important. Are we talking
MJF.
like okay? So if we're saying MJF is the Kawhi Leonard here, I would be down to sacrifice
Cody Rhodes.
No, that's too big. That's too cornerstone. Big. Am I crazy for saying I'd be down to sacrifice CM Punk?
That's not almost like a trade for trade, though, right?
I mean, I guess, sure. But see,
although it would be like sacrificing a Jacob Fatu.
Oh, I think a Braun Breaker. I might be.
Oh, there it is,
Yeah,
there
are
it
we
is.
willing to sack? Yeah, but DeMar DeRozan wasn't a Braun breaker. DeMar DeRozan was a guy that reached his
solid vet.
ceiling.
He's
He's
a
a
solid
solid
vet,
vet. Yeah,
They could give you
But
about
that's
20 buckets, easy.
that's
you
CM
know,
Punk,
every
is it
night.
not?
At this age?
That's what I'm saying. At this age, that's the difference. That's why I'm willing to sacrifice him for name JF.
And you know what? It'd be like an LA Knight because he's solid. He could give you 20 buckets a night. Come on, dude. Come on. I'm tired of this LA Knight litters. LA Knight could give you 20 buckets a night, dude. That's the quality, but it's not that. It's still lopsided. LA Knight, MJF, big lopsided.
I would agree.
The names don't pop, so I think a Punk would be proper.
We did send more than just DeMar to the Spurs. Though.
That's true.
But DeMar is obviously the cornerstone of that trade deal. So there was more. Like I think it was like Jakob Pertl, some picks. So like there's more that we could create like a trade package for an MJF type of situation.
I think LA Knight would be in that trade package.
Okay, I would say LA Knight has to be, let's say, part of that trade. I think we got to put in a big name, like a world. Okay, yeah, I think a big prospect. Like I think AEW would jump at a Kendall Gray.
I agree.
Right, like that prospect. They're like, oh my, they're so good at booking their women's division. I think they would jump at a Kendall Gray offer. LA Knight, Kendall Gray. We need a bigger name than LA Knight here to land MJF.
Maybe trade. No, I was gonna say maybe trade back Penta, but Penta wasn't really seen as a singles guy that much over there.
No.
A bigger name, Randy Orton.
Oh, that's honestly, that's kind of the DeMar DeRozan of the WWE. Like in terms of like the heart and soul, that might be it. Oh, dude, would WWE ever trade a Randy Orton who is coming towards the end of his career, becoming a little bit more part-time, for an MJF that can give them 15 years of full-time main event work? That's an interesting conversation. Ooh.
That's a tough conversation. It's a tough conversation because when Randy shows up, Randy's Randy, right?
Randy.
But Randy delivers the Randy match. You know, it's a vintage Orton. You get a little power slam. You know, little simple, little ring psychology into the RKO in the finish. But it's always good. I mean, that Miz match versus Randy. Two vets doing what they do best. So I was like, I'm not expecting much, but I was satisfied.
DeMar, always 25 points a night. Always a great player. Just couldn't win us the ship. But when he showed up, he was a great player. But we prefer Kawhi. That's it. That's how it goes. That's an interesting thought experiment.
Yeah, gutted your franchise for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Congrats.
Hey, it was worth it. It was... I can't explain to you. Actually, no, I can't explain it to you because all of my teams are miserable and suck ass.
They do.
Actually, being able to celebrate a championship, that's the only championship I've celebrated in my entire lifetime, by the way. The only one. None of my other teams have won championships in any other sport. Just that one. And I will forever cherish it. I will be on my deathbed telling my grand kicky kids about the great 2019 purge that allowed us to bring Kawhi Leonard.
That's gonna be me, dude. I'm gonna be sitting there waiting for LA Knight to win, and I'm gonna be 80 years old. Waiting.
Man, you're gonna need to sacrifice something big for LA Knight to win anything seemingly. I'm sorry, man.
Yes.
I think you're on a bandwagon that I wouldn't recommend being part of. Meanwhile, you could have been part of the Obafemi bandwagon, the most certain assured bandwagon in the last 10 years. But no, instead, I
love my low tier gods, dude. Low tier, low powered. That's my boy. Hey,
that's your LA Knight.
You could tell me B2's the best thing in Smash. Don't give a damn. Give me King K. Rool. You know what I mean? Like that's me.
Well, let's talk about Saturday night's main event. It is interesting that now we're at 2 years in a row of Saturday night's main event kind of like getting in the way of the Royal Rumble build. I do think that this year, though, there's better synergy between the buildup of Saturday night's main event and the Royal Rumble than there was last year. Like, for example, this year, we're getting Jacob Fatu and Cody Rhodes, which will probably build more into their
Rumble
consequences, whatever builds up there. You have a number one contendership to see who goes to face Drew McIntyre at the Rumble. You have that women's tag team match, which we will absolutely see dissension with the lead into the Rumble as well. Meanwhile, you look at it last year, and then they do Jey Uso versus Gunther for the world title for Jey Uso to lose and then win the Rumble anyway. They also did Jacob Fatu versus Braun Strowman, where Jacob Fatu murdered Braun Strowman, only for Braun Strowman to just come back 6 days at the Rumble, no problem, even though he had internal bleeding, and eliminate Jacob Fatu, which was just what is that kind of, like, the lack of continuation.
And then he's gone from the WWE.
Meanwhile, at least this year, there just seems to be a lot more synergy and balancing between Saturday night's main event and the build up to the Royal Rumble, which I appreciate. I really do appreciate. I do think that even though right now there's only 3 matches for Saturday night's main event, it does feel like a necessary little pit stop right before the Royal Rumble. And when last year it just felt like this tumor hanging on the side of your body that you just kind of had to get through.
It's not a tumor.
It's not a tumor.
We need to have a Drew McIntyre match, man. I need a showcase match for Drew. You know,
at Send Me in Montreal, Saturday night's main event.
Let me get something over, like a win for Drew, just to create some doubt that he's going to win at the Rumble. You know what I mean? Because right now, how can you say, even though whoever wins out our Saturday night's main event to go on to face Drew at Rumble, that they're going to beat a first-time defending Drew McIntyre, right? Don't you want some doubt for his first title defense?
So do you think that him having a match at Saturday night's main event winning would help create that doubt?
Yeah, just like power him up a little bit, let him be a little bit dominant, because he kind of sneakily ran away and took the belt and that match against Cody with Jacob.
Wait, but if you're powering him up, wouldn't that give you less doubt?
No, like, let me explain a little bit, because right now people are saying he can't lose his first title defense at Rumble. But if he wins a Saturday's main event, then it leaves it open that he could.
I get what you mean. I get what you mean. Because then you go into the Rumble being like, he has had his one defense. Now it's fair game.
Prominent guy. Now it's fair game. He could lose to Zemi. He could lose to Randy.
That was the problem with CM Punk and Braun Breaker, right? Like, CM Punk's not going to lose his first title defense, and he didn't. No. So, okay, I get what you mean. I
like the gaslighting that they're doing with CM Punk. He's a fighting champion. Like, okay.
Yeah. Sure, all right. Relax. But he took 3 months to get in the ring to become a fighting champion. We'll talk about that, because I do want to talk about the number of championship matches that we've had since the start of the year. But yeah, who would you have Drew McIntyre face at Saturday night's main event? Anyone interest you?
See, that's what I was thinking about as I was like shaving and things of that sort. I see like a returning Sheamus would be nice, like someone like
that's cool. I mean, last year it was Sheamus and Braun Breaker for the Intercontinental title at Saturday night's main event, and that was really fun.
Yeah, that was the one where Braun Breaker like jumped off the stairs and speared him. That was sick. Good old Sheamus, like something like that, like a primer. You can't just paint a masterpiece when you got a canvas on T. You can't necessarily just throw colors on a paint canvas. You got to prime it. You got to put some white glass on that bad boy. You know what I mean? And then paint your masterpiece.
I don't mind that. It rounds out the show a little bit more. Like Sheamus, I think, is a good shout. If he wasn't already been in one of those number one contendership matches, they did have a little interaction backstage that would have been interesting, just giving Ilya Dragunov that opportunity. Not because I think Ilya Dragunov could win, but just giving Ilya Dragunov just that, that company, being in the room does elevate him.
If this guy didn't win, this would have been a fine choice. The Weapon King. If he wasn't involved in the qualifiers, it was just Damian versus Drew, because they've had multiple stare downs. And once you can never leave the Weaponverse. I'm sorry.
You're in there forever.
You're in there forever. You think Drew's safe for the Weaponverse? My friend, no. The Weaponverse is a long withstanding thing. You have to, again, Damian needs to go undead, and then the Weaponverse can maybe be die. Do you understand, Santi? You think my Opa Femi is my worst take ever? No, my worst take ever is turning Damian Priest undead, for the love of God.
But undead Damian Priest has weirdly won me over with time. I actually, funny enough, I thought that I said this on one of my streams when I saw like they did Last Man Standing and then Ambulance Match. I was like, oh my God, they're going to do Buried Alive, and Damian's gonna lose, and he's gonna come back from a Buried Alive match, and it's gonna be undead Damian Priest. Like I was like, oh my God, I think we're like 2 degrees of separation from undead Damian Priest where this feud is going.
I put it. That's the way I work, dude. I put it out in the atmosphere, and it slowly materializes over time, like fungus. You see it. Undead Damien would work, man, because it just makes so much sense. The dude is so close. He comes out like a bat. You know, he had the little bat wings. The dude can never die. Clearly, his push is always constant.
What's that movie? There's like a demon. He's got bat wings. Jeepers Creepers, right? Yeah, Jeepers Creepers. Is that not it?
It's a well, he's like a crow type of thing, but it's like that movie's not, you know.
Oh, the director's he's a bad person, right? That's
he's a bad
dude.
I was thinking about Pet Sematary, where you come back, but you're not like totally there. Like you're a little off, you're a little bit more evil, a little bit more sinister. That's one of my favorite scary movies, dude. Pet Sematary.
Pet Sematary traumatized me. It genuinely traumatized me. It's a good movie, though.
That's a good one. I'm trying to think of other undead things that.
I got it.
Evil Dead.
Give me Damien Priest, Beetlejuice Damien Priest. Damien. Wepa.
Hey, what's going on here, Wepa? Whoa, dude, we just want something like spicier with Damien. I think that's all we're looking for, because the tough guy, I'm here to set the rights and wrongs and be like a sheriff.
I'm here to chew bubble gum and Wepa, and I'm all out of bubble gum.
Someone literally, Oscar from shout out to my watch party on YouTube. He wrote lemon pepper Wepa steppers.
He did the same thing in my chat. I died laughing at lemon pepper Wepa steppers. I died at that.
It's lemon pepper Wepa. I'm sorry, we killed your gimmick there, good old Trick Willie, but now it's lemon pepper Wepa steppers.
The lemon pepper Wepa steppers.
It's funny because everyone that's in that contender match for Saturday's main event makes sense to face Drew McIntyre. So I think, like, every time I'm thinking like, who would be like, Trick, but he's in that match. So it's like Drew versus Damien makes sense. Trick versus Drew makes sense. Randy versus Drew makes sense, and Sammy versus Drew. But something about Sheamus, maybe Rusev, but Rusev is so far gone from his world championship or his championship days in general. United States Championship days. It's hard to say. Finn Balor would have been a great choice.
And Aleister Black. We could have done Aleister Black, but
he's apparently hurt.
I mean, maybe we get undead Aleister Black.
Broke his little tailbone, dude. You ever hurt that little thing?
I have, yes. Yeah. I took a helmet to the tailbone in football. Brutal. I got tackled from behind. Nasty. I was like, ah!
That's not how I picture you getting hit, though. I picture you like being on the ground.
That's actually, I think that's close to how it happened. Yeah. Just from behind. Yeah, the helmet to tailbone, bro.
Good old back shots will do it to you, Santi.
Yeah, man. Just in a pile of dudes, and one of them just comes in and goes, back shot. That's exactly what happened there.
So essentially, the only answer is Sheamus, now that we think about it.
I think Sheamus is the most creative, interesting choice. Because Sheamus is a guy that you could just, here's just like a one-off world championship opportunity, and no one would be like, Sheamus hasn't earned it. What kind of booking is? Who cares? Shut up and enjoy the ride that the final boss is taking you on, type of deal, right? Just let Sheamus get his world championship opportunity. I think that would have worked, and I actually do. It's funny because it's almost like your argument of Drew McIntyre being feel like more likely to lose at Rumble, it only works because of like a double negative. Like making him win makes him in storyline stronger, but like in kayfabe, in our eyes as fans, makes him weaker and more likely to lose. It's funny how that works. How like the reality of our world can sometimes be the polar opposite of the wrestling storyline that's being told to us.
It's a trope. I mean, it's like a returning guy can't lose in his first match.
Yeah.
Can he?
But realistically speaking, he should. He's been out of the ring for so long. He should be rusty. But you're right. There are some opposites that just don't translate the same way, where you're looking at it from like the perspective of somebody that's dissecting it versus the storyline being told. That's interesting. I never really thought of it that way.
Like a heel turn, right? It's the first match as a heel. They can't lose. It's the first match as a babyface. They can't lose.
But realistically, the odds shouldn't change. It's still the same person. But you're right. They can't lose.
and can't lose. I think maybe if he wasn't stuck in the other vortex in the WWE and the Rayverse, I think Penta would have been a good match against Drew McIntyre.
Sure. I would have been down for that. I think I mean, it would have been entirely too early, but Javon Evans would have been fun. Just somebody. I think Javon Evans would have been really cool just to like, hey, we're going to let you be in the room here really early on in your career. You're not going to get back here for a while, but we have a spot that you might be able to show out in. And I think that would have been pretty sweet.
I think they did that with him already with Randy, right?
Sure.
Having Randy go down there and
Sure.
cross swords. Did you watch the Night of the Seven Kingdoms?
Not yet. I'm
Oh, Santi.
Listen, there's part of me that like almost wants to boycott this show and anything else with the name of George R. R. Martin attached to it. I like the Dunk and Egg novellas. I've read them all. I really am a fan of them. But dude, get to work. Get to work, man. Like I'm so sick and tired of waiting for the winds of winter, for a dream of spring. You are looking at the clock, counting down to die. Like you're not some spring chicken. You're not David Goggins out there running marathons. You are morbidly obese on the brink of death, and you are leaving one of the most sought after pieces of fiction unfinished, and you're doing it on purpose.
I forgot to tell new listeners, Santi has a bone to pick with George R.
I think George R. R. Martin is like ops number one for me. I talk a big game, but I think if I actually saw George R. R. Martin in real life, because he's such a harmless blob that couldn't do anything to me, I think I would let him know. I think I'd feed him the verbal lemon pepper wepa steppas at how he has damaged my life with his laziness.
Just straight from 1 to 10, like right away.
And here's the thing: we don't bring up George R. R. Martin very often, but I think you do. Just like in passing, forgetting how much I hate him. But
I do.
Okay, well here you are. Quick reminder to the listeners: I despise George R. R. Martin.
Well, for me, the reason why I bring it up is because it's interesting to see this story of this night in this serious kind of universe have a little bit comedy to it. Sure. And I'm like, why can the WWE do more of that? It's such a serious world. And I always felt that it's so interesting that the XFL inspired the NFL and Hard Knocks, right? To do these kind of behind the scenes, mic'd up type of things. And then the WWE, who is an innovator in a lot of things, are now mimicking sports in the presentation and the Hard Knocks Unreal documentary. And I was just so bizarre. It's like, WWE is such a unique universe, like the good old Seven Kingdoms, that why can't we just have fun and play with it? And I think that's where the Kit Wilsons of the world come in, the nature where we could have this glorious fun. We didn't even write them down in a rundown, but damn, dog, Kit Wilson is a delight. And I'm telling you, Santi, you're starting to see it, right?
See the Shawn early Shawn Michaels.
But
no,
you're forgetting this one thing though. This one thing that Shawn did not have that Kit Wilson has. Would you like to know what it is?
Tell me what does Kit Wilson have that Shawn didn't?
The power of the internet. That's true. Virality, my friend. This dude is on a rocket ship, not because of the WWE. Sure, the WWE gave us the materials of a banger theme song, which, surprise, surprise, when you bring back a banger theme song like Finn Balor's banger theme song, things elevate for a superstar. But it's also because of the virality, dude, of TikTok and just the ability for him to be everywhere. You open up your phone, boom, a Kit Wilson thing hits your feed. You go to your X account, boom, Kit Wilson's there. Literally, my reaction to Kit Wilson's coming out in SmackDown, 20 Kit Wilson gifts back to back to back to back to back to back. He is going to go somewhere that no one else predicted. But it's because of the internet, and that's what Shawn Michaels did not have, man.
I'm gonna push back a little bit. I'm gonna continue to push back on the Shawn Michaels bit. You're never gonna get me on that train. Where I fully agree is the virality and the accessibility of the internet and memes and how quickly the internet can take and push a guy. I saw a guy that like cosplays as Art the Clown doing the Kit Wilson dance, and his whole TikTok pages doing like famous like TikTok dances. So now the Kit Wilson dance is now becoming this TikTok dance that non-WWE fans in the traditional sense are using for their TikTok videos. I'm going to push back and say that this isn't, Shawn Michaels just didn't have social media. I'm going to change it up for you, and somebody that's a bit more comparable in my eyes. This would have been where Fandango would have been had he had the power of social media and the internet. It was not, because that was like 2013, 2014. Social media was obviously getting big, but it's not where it is today. Certainly video content was nowhere near as big as it is now, because back then short form media was photos, like Snapchat photos, Facebook and Instagram photos. Videos were only pretty much exclusively at that time on YouTube. I don't think Vine was around yet, or maybe it was already under. But I think had Fandango had the virality opportunities that we have here today, I think that could have been something more special for Fandango, because that to me is where we're at today. Kit Wilson with that theme song is more akin to a Fandango than a Shawn Michaels, like you're saying. But I think he has a lot more runway and a lot more potential to be carried by virality than Fandango ever was, because Fandango's virality started and stopped in the arenas, if you ask me.
Man, shout out to Fandango, recently retired.
JDC.
Retired. He's not dead, but Kit Wilson, I don't know, man, that they're getting the details right. Let's just say that.
Oh my God, dude, when he turned his head and started to walk again, like in perfect theme, in perfect harmony to his entrance theme restarting, it was amazing. It was unbelievably amazing. But Sancho, we're derailing here from Saturday night's main event with Kit Wilson talk. Back to Saturday night's main event. We have Cody Rhodes versus Jacob Fatu. Out of all the matches, I actually think that that's maybe the most unpredictable one. Where do you see this landing? Because it's tough. It's tough to picture Cody losing, but it's not impossible anymore because he doesn't have the world title, kind of giving him that plot armor that he has had for a really long time. And similarly to what we were saying, he just came back. He can't lose his first match. That's Jacob Fatu. So I think we're kind of in a immovable object, unstoppable force situation here. Are we just talking about a DQ finish here, or is Jacob Fatu just going to win? Because I don't see Cody beating Fatu.
I think what distracts Jacob Fatu is Kit Wilson's music.
No way. Oh my goodness, though. But like, it could happen.
It's there. It could happen because Kit Wilson does not like toxic masculinity.
And they've added Kit Wilson to that main event ecosystem by proxy by being attacked by Jacob Fatu. Oh my God, dude. That'd be such a hilarious finish. It would be. The Montreal crowd would eat that up, man. It
Kit Wilson, are you
there? Kit Wilson. And man, the perfect cadence of the Kit Wilson is getting over too.
It is. Okay, of course I think it's going to be a DQ. I don't think Kit Wilson's going to appear here, but I think it's just going to be a DQ finish because it's going to be a way to sell the Rumble. Like, oh my God, these guys can't get it together. They hate each other so much that it's going to spill over into the Rumble, because I do think Jacob Fatu is going to be the thing that stops Cody from winning his third Royal Rumble. Like, that's what they're going to do to put Jacob Fatu over, that he doesn't on the big stage. If you wanted to do it the other way, where you have Cody beating Jacob Fatu, then Jacob has to eliminate him at the Rumble. But I like the idea of both of them being so angry at each other that it spills over into Rumble. And it's the reason why you would tune into Rumble to see what happens between Jacob and Cody Rhodes.
No, I totally hear what you're saying.
You can't dilute both of them going into the Rumble. It's not possible.
I agree. So I do think that we're looking at a non-finish here in some capacity. And I hope it's a non-finish with none of them standing tall. I hope it's like they brawl through the crowd, through the outside, and
we gotta go, folks. Royal Rumble coming at that kind of vibe.
Yeah. Because what I don't want is a repeat of Jacob Fatu and Braun Strowman last year, where Jacob Fatu kills Braun Strowman and then Braun at the Rumble and he's totally fine, even though he was bleeding out the mouth 6 days earlier and dying and convulsing on the ground. I don't want that again. I want better continuation, and I think ending it in some way that creates major drama between these two going into the Rumble, I think that's the way to go, especially because like imagine like Jacob Fatu's dominating the Rumble and then the Cody Rhodes' music hits and everyone is down except Jacob Fatu with that like crazy werewolf face that he does, waiting for Cody to run down to the ring. Come on, that's hype. Those are moments you want out in the Rumble, absolutely. And they are in dangerous territory where they could potentially dilute that moment if they have a definitive finish here.
Especially when Jacob Fatu yelled at Cody to bring his punk ass out here. Like, that was like, damn. And then when Cody called him, like, are you a car with no gas and no brakes? Like, something like that. Some really good stuff between the two. I did not expect to enjoy Jacob Fatu and Cody Rhodes so much. But shouts to Cody Rhodes quickly here about him turning around those boos, man. I was like, damn, why are they sending out Cody Rhodes into the Lions Den where he's clearly getting booed at the building? Drew McIntyre chants left and right, and no one liked him, and then all of a sudden he was able to turn that around in London and then get the cheers and then get him hyped for Jacob Fatu versus Cody Rhodes.
Dude, he's a master of that. He's a master of that. He did it last year with the Cena stuff. You know, there would be moments where he'd be getting booed and then he'd turn it around and you're like, damn it, that was good. So he's very, very good at maneuvering himself through hostile crowds and like straight up just winning them over by the end of his promo. Okay, so we're kind of both on the same track here with Jacob and Cody. Give me
main eventing? That main eventing, you think?
No, I think number one contendership main event, especially with the predicted winner and where they're at. But before that,
this is opening then.
Yeah, I could see this opening, absolutely. Then we have Rhea Ripley and Io Sky versus the Judgment Day Girls. I don't see title changes here. I see more than anything just dissension, but not just between one team. I could see dissension between both teams, like Io and Rhea maybe having a little bit of a spat, and Roxanne and Liv having a little bit of a spat, but still Rhea Ripley and Io Sky winning. But I think the goal of this is to create even if it's tiny, a tiny wedge between all of these women and their friends going into the Rumble.
Yeah, it's as simple as thing as Jacob and Cody. You got to excel what's happening at the Rumble. And one thing I want to point out is this is not on NBC cable television anymore. This is all on Peacock and YouTube. So or Netflix, right? Is that you have it or
no? We have it on YouTube. Yeah. Saturday Night's Main Event isn't on Netflix anywhere.
Kind of confined now into a space where it doesn't have to be the biggest wares like it used to be a Saturday's Main Event, where they're not trying to cater to the casual, super casual audience and try to get people over from their sports normal viewing or their dramas that they watch on Saturdays on NBC, get them over to wrestling. Now it's just more about what we enjoy and what was for us and for what serves the story. So it's not going to be such a wrench into what's happening. So instead, it's just going to boost whatever's happening at Rumble. So I do see dissension. And more importantly, I have to see dissension between Liv, Roxy, and Raquel, because I do think Raquel has to, it's interesting to me. It's a bummer that Raquel has now claimed for the Rumble by Liv, because I wanted Raquel versus Stephanie Vaquera at the Rumble, but we're not going to get that because Stephanie Vaquera must not be ready.
I think we're on board there. I do.
Who wins though?
I do think Rhea Ripley and Io Sky win. That's what I was going to say. I do think that they still win.
Who eats the pin?
Oh, I mean Roxanne. I mean Roxanne is come on. You know that's what she's there for. She's there to take the pin. She's the one still trying to find her way in this giant ocean of WWE. And part of the tradition is you're there to take the pins, brother. I don't care even if you're in the Vision and you're an Austin Theory. Your job is to take the pins, man. That's how it is. And I think that's Roxanne's job. Funny enough, though, doesn't it feel like Roxanne eating pins hurts Roxanne significantly less than Austin Theory taking pins?
Oh, poor Austin Theory, dude. I had high hopes. Shout outs to the crowd, though, for chanting at Logan. You're bad. You're bad from Japan.
Paul, you're bad from Japan. That was so good. That was so good. It's it's interesting. You say you had high hopes for Austin Theory. I sat here on this podcast from day one and on my YouTube page saying I just don't. I think we were at least both on the same page that they at least started him off with the worst possible foot forward possible by not having it be revealed at the Survivor Series War Games, and then doing all his reveal stuff and like his first matches and stuff on like pre-recorded Christmas episodes. They like set him up for failure. Is essentially where we're both at. But you were a little bit more optimistic than I was.
I was optimistic simply because he had a better in-ring appearance that he did, but it seems as though it's like if you look at Bronson Reed, Logan Paul, Braun Breaker, out of those three, you're going to want Austin Theory to take those pins. But I do think that the WWE has done a disservice to not only Austin Theory, but to Grayson Waller. And it's interesting because The Rock, or Dwayne, Diarrhea Dwayne, in his little press conference.
I forgot about Diarrhea Dwayne.
You forgot that when Dwayne had his little press conference and he said, playing the interesting character of the final boss, not all feuds need to end in a physical altercation or a match. So how come they don't take a page from The Rock and not have Grayson Waller and Austin Theory's feud in the ring? Why don't we have Grayson Waller kind of just show up backstage and be like, hey, what's up? And then Austin Theory ghosts him or something along the lines like that, just so that we could move on from that and everybody can move on from that. Because I just feel like Grayson Waller and Austin Theory are still in this weird void. And without having that kind of like that story put to rest, I'm still going to be asking questions when that shoe's going to drop, brother.
I don't think it's ever going to drop. That's the thing.
Well, I mean, Grayson Theory has a goatee now, and he has
Grayson Theory, huh? You're already
Grayson Waller.
Yeah, he does have the facial hair now. The man is joining the club.
He looks bigger too. He got some oil.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he's.
If you want to look bigger, Santi, just put oil on, dude.
Buddy, I'm gonna get in crazy shape for my inevitable oil up. I'm getting. I told my.
You feel it?
I told my coach. I was like, listen. It's gonna sound crazy. Let me just explain everything to you. There's this guy, Jelly Roll. He's a Grammy Award nominated artist. Here's the clip. All right.
Dropping the name. All right.
I need to get in the best shape possible because this guy's gonna fucking jump off the top rope. I've never seen a man more determined to get in shape to jump off the top rope. So I'm gonna try and get in as good a shape as possible for my inevitable oil up scene. That's it, man. Just be ready. Be ready.
You get a 4K camera?
I don't know. I haven't thought that far ahead. I haven't thought of the setting. Are we indoors? Are we outdoors? What's the lighting going to look like? I don't know. I think
Jelly has to be there.
I think that'd be the best payoff, right? Because he's the one that won it for the people. It should be him to pour the oil.
And Mr. Beast.
Of course. I gathered a wrestling YouTuber to lather himself up in oil, and if he can run through these rings of fire without bursting into fire, he wins $1 million.
What if Logan's there?
What if he oils me up with Prime Protein? Or what if it's a scene of I'm getting a pump to oil up, and in the process of getting my pump, Logan hands me some Prime Protein so that I'm as pumped as possible, and then I get oiled up by Jelly Roll. Listen up, Prime. I'm giving you guys like genius marketing ideas that totally won't ruin your business.
I mean, you got worked by good old Prime Protein so hard.
I got worked hard, bro.
You were so excited for that little video. You're like, oh my god, they finally released the video. Ooh, hey,
dude, I was in for a penny, in for a pound, and then I got played, and I was like, damn, now I want some Prime Protein.
I heard the vanilla flavor is the best.
Well, I mean, like, listen, I think we talked about this off camera, but like, it could taste like ass, and I still think bodybuilders are gonna eat it up because 32 grams of protein with like no sugar and like fairly low calories is actually like insane macros for a protein shake. And bodybuilders will put anything into their system, even if it tastes like ass, so long as it gets them their protein.
So, what's your favorite ass flavor then?
Ooh, I do like. I don't know how to answer. I was gonna say banana. I like banana flavored ass protein. Saturday night's main event. Main event would be the Fatal 4-Way: Randy Orton versus Trick Williams versus Damian Priest versus hometown boy Sami Zayn. That's why I took a pause. I was like, I guess banana ass flavor.
You were so excited to answer, like, ooh, let me tell you.
Fatal 4-Way. Sami Zayn's winning this, right?
Yes, it has to be Sami.
Trick. Does it have to be? Does it have to be? Could they run Randy versus Drew at Rumble so that Sami has a heartbreak and then he's like, oh, I'm still gonna get another chance, and then like Drew McIntyre like laughs at him like, ha ha, Sami, you're a loser, Sami, you didn't get screwed, Sami, you screwed yourself. And then that maybe is a catalyst for Sami to go one at the Rumble, and then another, piece of hope for Sami Zayn. Like, could they is there a possibility, or is it just as simple as Sami Zayn getting the world championship match?
What would you rather have if you were Sammy? A chance to win at the Rumble or an actual championship match at the Rumble?
Okay, you asked me what I thought, what would I prefer if I was Sammy, but I think the better question is what would I prefer as a fan? And I think I actually would prefer
as a Sammy fan.
As a Sammy fan, I think I think there is more excitement as a Sammy fan, which by the way, I am. A lot of people think I hate Sami Zayn, and we do kind of clown on Sami Zayn's, hey, you want this, huh? You want that? But I'm a big fan of Sami Zayn. I think there is a lot more excitement and drama about Sami Zayn in the Rumble than that WWE Championship match.
I mean, they could definitely toy with us the most, right?
Yes.
Sammy could be teetering on the apron. Sammy could be the last 1v1 type of situation. Or
he could win it. They gave it to Jey Uso last year when it was a Rumble that had some of the biggest names ever. You never know.
He could win it, and the guy could be like coming from underneath the rope, a la Rusev, and like, oh my God, he's back again type of monster. But I think it would be much of a, I guess, if you had to look at the legacy of Sami Zayn, having a championship match in Saudi Arabia would be big. And I think right now this is probably the only opportunity to pull the trigger for that, right? It's like the only play to have a championship match in Saudi with Sami Zayn versus Drew McIntyre, which they have history.
It's not, though, because you have WrestleMania next year.
I forgot about Mania.
You have Mania there next year. So, like, something that I continue to be pitching on my YouTube channel is, like, break the hearts of Saudi Arabia this year. Break their hearts. Smash it into a million pieces so that you can put it back together and give them their big payoff at WrestleMania next year. And that could be Sammy not getting the world title opportunity. Sammy going into the Rumble, going number one, going the distance, and then losing at the very end, grasping the ropes like Shawn Michaels did at that Royal Rumble. Break the Saudi people's hearts so that you can then bring their heart back in a silver platter and give it to them in the main event of a WrestleMania with a Sami Zayn winning the championship and winning the championship there. I'm just saying, I think narratively, there is something that makes it make sense for Sammy to not win at Saturday night's main event.
I know, but that's like a lot of...
It's a lot of moving pieces.
Investment. A lot of investment.
Which is why my prediction is that he wins and goes to Saudi Arabia to face Drew McIntyre. And that is my prediction. I think there's something that they could do if they choose to not go down that route that could be special.
It sounds like a heavy lift. Does that make sense?
Very heavy lift.
If you still want that drama, the easiest lift is just letting him win Saturday's main event to go to face Drew at Rumble, right? That's like the easy lift versus let's build up Sammy again as an underdog who his son doesn't even see him as a world champion. He brought it up, not me. And then hold on to that story for a Mania cycle in Vegas and then another Mania cycle for Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, that's a lot. It's a lot. I agree with you.
That's a lot.
Is there? You know, we're pretending like it's a foregone conclusion that because he's in the championship match that he can't be in the Rumble. We've seen it plenty of times.
Rare. Yeah, it's so rare.
I mean, it's rare. It is rare enough. But when it happens, that person that loses wins the Rumble. Brock Lesnar 2022, Becky Lynch 2019. We've seen it where they lose the match and they go to the Rumble and then they win it anyway. So blueprint is there. Precedence is there.
Though. Becky was weird though. Did she take someone's spot?
Yeah, Lana got attacked.
Yeah.
So she wasn't original. So I guess in story, she wasn't planned to be in the Rumble.
Yeah. And then as she didn't beat Nia. Nia was there in the final three. There was another person that was there.
Is Charlotte? Is Charlotte one of the last ones? I can't remember who she in the final.
I just remember not liking that Rumble because it should have been Becky versus Nia at the end because that was the whole feud and it wasn't. It was somebody else.
And she lost earlier. She lost the title early in the night to Asuka, I think.
Probably.
I think that's what it was. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of moving pieces.
7 years, but that's what I mean. Too many moving pieces. I think your prediction or your scenario booking is just too many moving pieces.
I think the scenario would work if it was Rumble and WrestleMania this year in Saudi.
Probably.
It could work in that scenario, but you're right. I think it's a lot of heavy lifting. That's why I'm going to predict the simple Sammy just wins at Saturday night's main event.
Well, next year's Rumble is a 2-night event, right?
Not confirmed. Not that we know. We know that SummerSlam is, but we don't know anything about next year's Rumble yet. The way things are going, you'd think. I think that that's kind of a natural next transition with TKO's desire to take as much money out of our pockets as humanly possible in a second night. Unfortunately,
that sounds exhausting.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it's a model that has worked for them, sadly. But it makes sense. It does. It's definitely not going to be Money in the Bank because Money in the Bank is a month after SummerSlam. They're not going to do back-to-back 2-night shows. But I do think some Money in the Bank could become a 2-night show. It's just not this upcoming year because they moved it because they don't want to fight against the FIFA World Cup. That's the reason why it was moved.
World Cup.
Uruguay, Costa Rica, Crota. That's how Speed pronounces all these countries in that song. Shout out to Speed, man. Crota. Anyways, Saturday nights. Do they add any more matches? It's not going to be Stephanie and Raquel, clearly. You had brought up the possibility of another women's match.
What do you mean, like another women's match?
You had
Rumble?
No, for Saturday night's main event. You had brought in Jordynne Grace versus Jade Cargill potentially.
Yeah, no, I would like Jordynne Grace and Jade either here or at Rumble. Like one of those two would work. I don't know, man. Jordynne Grace just had a 3-minute match with Chelsea.
Mm-hmm.
It would be nice for it to build up, but I don't know how long can you build up these things without revealing too many holes in the game of Jade Cargill and Jordynne Grace. Does that make sense? It's like this build's been nice,
yeah,
but can they survive another promo, another face-to-face promo, another backstage promo? I mean, I don't need anything more from them to get to the point of having a match. I think we're already there. So why don't we just have it happen at Saturday's main event versus another cycle of a weekly television to get to the Rumble? Can they build it up any higher? I don't know.
Apologies to audio listeners. I ripped a fart that was meant to be quiet and it was loud and I saw my mic spike, so it's possible that it might have come through. I try to lift my right butt cheek to like allow, air space for it to just be like a quiet, but no, man, it sounded like the booty was clapping hard. And I saw the little mic spike on OBS just go like halfway up. I was like, oh, it might have been caught on the mic.
I didn't hear it.
All right. Okay. You didn't hear it, but you were talking, so you might not have heard it over your own voice. Okay. We'll see. Let me know, audio listeners. Did you hear it or not? What about the possibility,
And I get the worst thing in the comments and you, this professional here, ripping it?
I'm just ripping it, bro. Hey, I'm authentic. What can I say?
I'm real.
I'm real gas.
I'm unreal.
What I was going to pitch to you then, if you feel like maybe it's a little bit too early to just do Jade versus Jordynne Grace, and in terms of like where that would put Jordynne Grace clearly losing here, what about, because it is there, Jordynne Grace versus Jade Cargill versus Chelsea Green for their first matchup? Because then you have Chelsea Green there to take an L, because that she's so good at it, and Chelsea Green L's are basically wins for her type of character and what she does. We could be looking at that being the match. She accidentally attacked Jade Cargill. She's been kind of like part of that ecosystem for a while with Jade Cargill. If that was the match at Saturday night's main event, I wouldn't hate it, because then you could be looking at Chelsea just taking the L there, protecting Jordynne Grace going into the Rumble.
It's true. I do like the idea of Jordynne Grace in a Rumble. I know in the previous pod, I think she already had her Rumble moments. I don't think she could top it except by winning the whole damn thing. But I do see like that match has to happen, at least Jordynne Grace versus Jade within like the month time frame. If the feud goes any further than that, I think they'll lose its luster. I do believe that Chelsea does add that the grease and the oil to it to make that matchup a little bit better, a little bit more tolerable versus not be just two powerhouses. And adds that wild card factor that I think Chelsea Green is desperately missing. It is interesting. I know Unreal Season 2 just released, and I haven't watched it, and I know Santi's not going to watch it because he didn't watch the first season. But there was a little snippet of Triple H, Road Dogg, and the creative team talking about Chelsea Green. And they're like, what happens when Chelsea Green wins? Who is she going to face? And they just sat there and like when Triple H is like, it doesn't make sense for her to go up against B-Fab and Michi because she literally ran through them to get to the championship. So who else do we have? And I think they were like, well, Road Dogg was like, well, and they're talking. Triple H goes, she can't go against Jade Cargill's and the Tiffany Strattons of the world because she'll lose. And at that moment, I was like, oh, well, I disagree. I think Chelsea is a wild card, and she could absolutely beat those big main eventers because Chelsea Green's a heel. She could cheat. She could use her Secret Harvest, and Matt Cardona could help her. There's so many options for a Chelsea Green type character. But I do see in that moment from that clip is I don't think the WWE fully understands Chelsea Green's character and the capabilities of Chelsea Green, that she is a main event if they wanted to. And they could push her in that way. And I think your idea of putting her with Jade Cargill and Jordynne Grace for the opportunity to win a world championship could shake that mid-card type of illusion off, because you and I and the internet community who saw her go up against Penta and good old Lucha Underground know she's a main eventer, know that she could work that style.
Agreed. Like I got no pushback there. I like the idea. I like that idea too. It gives us a little bit of buffer if we want to do Jordynne Grace versus Jade Cargill proper on its own a little bit further down the line without doing the dragging it out for too long that you're concerned about.
That's my fear. That's my fear, because you're going to reveal that Jade probably can't cut a promo, and maybe Jordynne Grace can't cut a promo against somebody that's not well versed in the promo world. Do you see a banger promo between those two?
No. Like, I mean, like, listen, we saw Jordynne Grace in promos against somebody that does cut banger promos in Blake Monroe in NXT, and you weren't there to hear what Jordynne Grace had to say. You were there for what Blake Monroe had to say. And when you have two people that you really aren't there to hear what they say in terms of Jade and Jordynne, because you want to see what they do in the ring, I think that's what speaks for them. Yes. It could create, without like you said, a gear mover, the grease, like a Chelsea Green, we could be looking at two cinder blocks trying to talk to each other.
Oh, Chelsea would be so good. She'd be like that EO. Remember in between Bianca and Rhea?
Yeah.
Hello, look at me, that type of thing. But it will work so much better if it's Chelsea doing that versus an EO Sky.
All right, let's move on to a couple things here that have developed over the last couple of weeks. For the Royal Rumble specifically, we have AJ Styles potentially retiring. It has now been confirmed that he's having a match for Gunther where AJ Styles is putting his career on the line. This isn't like the John Cena or Goldberg match where it's his retirement match where we know for sure he's done, but the career is on the line. And people have been going back to some reports that were reported as early as like October of this past year from Fightful Select, that it was reported that AJ Styles is, yes, per Fightful, that AJ Styles' contract is set to end in 2026, February. It was always said slightly after Rumble, before WrestleMania. Folks, we are there. Unless AJ Styles has re-signed with the WWE for an amount of time that allows him to get to WrestleMania, this genuinely could be AJ Styles' last match in the WWE. It might not be his, magnum opus final match. Maybe he goes to New Japan, maybe he goes to AEW, maybe he goes to TNA. If he's not under contract, he can do whatever he wants. But it's lining up, dude, with what the reports were a long time ago, and with it being almost 10 years exactly to the date, to the exact same pay-per-view that he debuted in 2016 at the Royal Rumble. A lot of things are lining up here, especially with what Gunther has become known for, which is retiring people. I am scared that this actually is AJ Styles' final match. I will say, when I look at this match, and if they want to take this to WrestleMania, they could. This has legs. Absolutely. In terms of this feud, I think this has legs. But the only way you get there is with a disqualification finish. Because if AJ wins, I think that hurts Gunther tremendously. And if Gunther wins, that retires AJ. So then we're looking at something in between.
His career ends.
His career ends.
That's a key word, career.
His career in WWE. That's what it could mean, right? I think it could happen, dude. I think this could be the end of AJ Styles' career in the WWE. And I don't know why, like, so many of us created this narrative in our heads that AJ Styles was going to go all of 2026. He never said that. He said, I'm retiring in 2026. That could be early 2026. He never said what part of 2026 he was going to be retiring in. It does feel early and far-fetched and that there's still a lot, but it's not unrealistic that this is AJ Styles' last WWE match.
That's a good point. I think the key factor as well is that Chris Van Vliet interview in the podcast where he said that he's going to wrestle until he's not going to wrestle past 50 years old, which he's basically at. And I think if to go along that narrative that you're painting here, if he was to retire or to end his career at the WWE, I do see AJ Styles making the rounds as a way, as his own retirement tour, to be thankful for the TNA time of his life, the New Japan time of his life, and he's probably going to go wrestle with his friends in AEW. There's just so many stops in AJ Styles' career that you got to remember, Santi, he is not a WWE guy. He's not a Cena. He's not a long timer. He's been a part of the WWE for 10 years, yes, but this dude has roots everywhere around the world. And there's no doubt that the WWE is not going to let him do that. They're not going to let him go visit somewhere or say goodbye the way that Nakamura wanted to say goodbye to his friends in New Japan, right? When they were retiring. All of those things, no doubt, play a factor into AJ Styles understanding that, hey, if I'm going to go out the way I want to go out, the way I came into this business my own way, then I'm going to have to put Gunther over. And I think that it's like a beneficial thing in both ways. It's like, oh, I get to put somebody over, get to do the right thing to do, as all wrestlers should do, by putting Gunther over as this legend killer monster. And I get to go be free and go to TNA, go to AEW, go to New Japan, hit up all the indies that I want to do and be able to go out my own way. And at the same time, that route is still very, very like money making. He could make a lot of money doing that. And he could take these small time appearance fees and gigs and things like that and probably rack in as much money as he wants.
Yeah.
It's like
now, I mean, TNA is there, right? They now have the AMC contract, the TV deal.
Was there?
Brutal first episode, not very good. People are not saying it's very good. Sports Illustrated saying it was not very good. Santi Sapp is saying it wasn't very good. So there is maybe something there. Like there is
your magazine would be called Santi Boy.
Why would it be called? Why would I call it that? Also, it's 2026. Who's starting a magazine?
You are Santi Boy. Santi Boy magazine.
But you know what's interesting about all of this, though? There's a fear, a sense of dread in the air once again. I think
Why?
I vocalized.
What are you afraid of?
Well, about the retirement of AJ, like that.
Why?
Gunther, why wouldn't I be? He's one of my favorites of all time, and now I just saw my favorite of all time being retired by Gunther, and now I have to go through this agony again.
What's left for AJ to do in the WWE?
I don't care
friend?
but I don't.
You want to see him in the mid card with Dragon Styles? Like that's what he's doing now.
That was sick. Listen, it's not that I don't think that AJ hasn't done anything. It's that like. Gripping with the reality of it being here is what is giving me this sense of dread, and it's happening too damn often.
You got your Fed eyes on, brother. You should be happy he gets to go to TNA, gets to go with.
You don't know that that's going to happen.
He said he's not going to retire until he's 50. So he has. He said in the tank.
He said he retire in 2026. No, he didn't say retire until
he won't wrestle past 50. That's what he said.
So that could mean now. No, that is the exact definition of what it could mean. It could mean now.
Okay.
You can't say it doesn't mean that.
Would you rather have him in his career here or continue to wrestle in the mid card to occasionally be the Finn Balor, come on up to the main event, challenge somebody, maybe win a championship in the WWE one more time? Or would you rather his career at the WWE end, him go to TNA, maybe become a TNA champion there, him go to AEW and have the dreamiest of dream matches and maybe run alongside with the Elite, with the Young Bucks, right? Just like look at all the opportunities that he would have leaving the WWE. I love AJ Styles in WWE. He is the face that runs the place. Sure, the house that Styles built. Yeah, all that fun things. But I just don't see where does he fit in a main event picture besides being a Finn Balor type character who rises from the dead every now and then to reclaim his glory, and then he just puts the younger guy over. That's what his role would serve in WWE versus he goes to AEW. They don't give a damn about, hey, he has to put the guy over. They just want a dream match to happen between the young and old, and maybe some old timers. They put some banger in the matches, and he could have his 5-star banger match in AEW and get paid, brother.
Now, okay, you say what I said about Sami Zayn, which I agreed with, was a heavy lift. That's a triple, quadruple heavy lift that you are suggesting here. That AJ is willing to go somewhere else at this point in his career when it sounds like he's just ready to sunset and let it go and go hang out with the wife, play video games. I think that's just an equal of a heavy lift and a heavy ask here that I have a harder time seeing. I think it's a less of a heavy ask to say AJ will last till WrestleMania. AJ will last till SummerSlam in the ecosystem he knows, the system that he's already used to, the people that he's accustomed to working with, the people he feels safe working with here towards the latter end of his career. Your scenario of AEW and all that stuff is better. There's no denying that. Like, that'd be sick if AJ was 45, if AJ had a couple of years left. But I think we're asking, could all of that stuff happen in 6 months after his time with WWE is done? Because that's the timeline we'd be looking at, right? 6 to 8 months. Can they do all of that? Are they? Maybe, but it would definitely feel like we're moving at a lightning fast pace that I don't know that AJ wants to move at a lightning fast pace at this point.
I think he did his best work with John Cena, and why don't you just leave it at that, and then continue the saga of building up Gunther by having that banger match with John Cena in Australia, and then his next big match was against Gunther, and he loses to Gunther and the build up Gunther. And I think that people that would hate that is they're not fans of Gunther and the legend killer type story arc that they're building, which I find it interesting because if he beats AJ Styles here and he ends his career, I think he has his sights next on Randy Orton. Because then now that's scary. Because now you and I both know Randy ain't going nowhere after his WWE career.
That's
and
true.
That, my friends,
that's a guy that is done.
Yeah, that guy's a done, and that would be scary.
Let me get your gauge here on another matter going on right now that has a lot of people speculating. We had on Monday Night Raw a phone call that seemed to threaten. We're not talking about Kit Wilson. No, not that
Kit,
phone
are
call.
You there? Kit, are you there?
Adam Pearce was on the phone with somebody that seemed to have pressured him to maybe bring Braun Breaker back. This person was introduced into the storyline via Paul Heyman's cell phone. Who is this? And there are some names that people are throwing out, like the final boss, like Triple H. Some people are saying a new potential executive type of role for a Chris Jericho, maybe being brought in to not be an in-ring performer, but more so a character authority figure, so that Raw could maybe pivot to having a heel manager as opposed to both shows having a babyface manager.
Is Santino?
Oh yeah, the director of authority, Santino. Maybe, but we have this new
Ava.
Oh God, the final boss's daughter, Ava. Does this? I mean, it's modern WWE. Things do tend to get paid off, but anytime I see these types of storylines, I get like PTSD.
Michael Cole
from
on the.
Yes, I get PTSD from the anonymous Raw general manager. I do think this will get paid off, especially when it's something involving the main event and Paul Heyman. I don't think Paul Heyman would be on board with a storyline that doesn't lead to, somewhere. But I'm having a hard time kind of pinpointing who this character, this power that be could be. Dude, I saw somebody saying Vince.
Who would Adam Pearce listen to? That's the first thing.
Yeah.
Who has power over Adam Pearce? It's not Nick Aldis because they're equals. It's somebody that Paul Heyman has an ear to. So it's someone on the TKO board, perhaps, that would have a say. And that would be The Rock, but The Rock's a character that has been sunsetted ever since Dwayne showed up again. I do find it interesting the more we lean into the idea of Jericho, because then that's a tease that one, Jericho could now do that role for 5 to 10 years now, right? He could elongate his career. He doesn't have to get in the ring. And then if he needs to get in the ring, he can for one-off as a general manager, a la like a Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce type of vibe. I would find it interesting if it's Jericho, because if you look at it, all signs are pointing that Adam Pearce will be removed as general manager at some point.
That's kind of where, I mean, Paul Heyman literally said that, right? You were the greatest Raw general manager. It's a shame that you're going to be leaving us.
Right. And you're putting your hands on my guys. Stop putting your hands on my guys. And they actually, like, you have to think about it. It kind of reminds me of a guy who's doing the right thing, but he's just burying himself by doing the right thing when he should just step aside. Adam Pearce wants the correct finish. He wants the clean finish. He wants a fair wrestling match. So he goes to ringside. You're like, what are you doing here, bro? You're the general manager. You're not supposed to be at ringside. He gets physical with the finish. He stops the brass knucks. He stands up and points at the referee. Now he's getting involved in it. He's like, what are you doing? A general manager is not supposed to be out there. Eventually, he made a mistake already by putting his hands on Braun Breaker, and all that stuff's going to add up. And someone in my watch party was like, Paul Heyman's collecting receipts, collecting evidence. So eventually when he presents it, then they're going to kick out Adam Pearce, and he's going to be bum-ass Adam Pearce.
But man, he plays this role so well, doesn't he? Like almost too well. Like you had joked about like when is the aneurysm going to happen? Like this man, it feels like Nick Aldis plays the general manager. He is, he's
too suave. He's suave. Yeah.
It feels like this guy is in the middle of like stressful corporate America, and that if he doesn't get the show on the line, his family doesn't get to eat. That his quarterly bonus won't be where he wants it to be. It feels like I'm stressed via Adam Pearce. I feel the pressure of corporate America through Adam Pearce, and that is an impressive feat from his acting standpoint. But it does feel like the man is going to collapse at any moment.
I like him begging AJ, like, please don't take this match. I need you, AJ. Like, you're one of my top stars. And that's an interesting storyline. But Jericho, as a general manager, be quite interesting. Because then he would be the leader of the division, right? He'd be a heel
maybe
manager?
He could be we have our head of state, our selected head of state, and this is a guy that's always going to be on the Vision side. And honestly, like that historically has been a really good dynamic for a general manager to have. I look back at Eric Bischoff's time on Raw, being buddies, not, part of Evolution, but he always sided with Evolution in some way, shape, or form, which gave them, which, by the way, they need their own theme. Coming out to Logan's, Braun Breaker's, and Bronson Reed's theme collectively, randomly, never Austin Theory seemingly. They got to figure out a theme. No, they're not going to come out to Kit Wilson's theme. But you know what else this adds? It is. You know what else this adds with Chris Jericho? You just talked about it. That little hint, that little taste of comedy that Jericho can play really, really well. You put Jericho being a frustrated general manager while, berating Tozawa, and Tozawa's just doing his little dance with him, like that'd be pretty sick. I think Jericho, his versatility as a general manager could be great, because I don't think that there's much excitement right now from what I'm seeing amongst fans about an in-ring return for Chris Jericho. I think maybe once he gets back in ring, I think people will get excited about it. But right now, it's pretty lukewarm. But maybe a general manager, that might be a better play in some world.
Like Stone Cold when he was a general manager. Sure. He couldn't wrestle. It was just fun having Stone Cold around.
Yeah. I mean,
who's your favorite general manager of all time?
I really like Eric Bischoff. I think he played the role just so diabolically well. I really, really like. I'm not even going to double think about it. It's Eric Bischoff. I think he's the greatest general manager.
Teddy Long. No. You're gonna go up against the Undertaker.
Holla, holla, holla. Tag team match, player.
You know what? We're gonna have a 6-man tag team. I'm trying to. I like the era of the corporation. I've always was a fan of like Triple H, the Authority. Like they kind of work kind of well, because I always like in-ring authoritative characters, because the babyface was an easy way to bolt himself into like above the man, above the law, above the rules. I mean, it works so well for Stone Cold. I mean, that's obviously the answer. But anytime someone just Daniel Bryan's of the world that just overcome what was meant to be, I think the WWE will eventually, and I kind of talked about this years ago when they had The Rock and TKO on the board. I thought the board would have been a sick villain to have. And The Rock was kind of hinting on that. Like, I'm the board, I'm the chairman of the board. And he would at Mania, dude, when he was yelling at the referee, you count out, you're fired. Like, that's the kind of stuff I was like, damn, give me more of that. So I'm hoping that character could resurface in some way, somehow. And if it's going to be this Paul Heyman, whoever he's yapping to, right? That's what the young kids say. Whoever he's yapping to. I think that'd be cool.
Down. I do like the idea of the board of directors. There is I like the it's a trope in video games and in movies of the unseen villainous organization. In my favorite video game franchise, it was the Patriots, the Lale-Lule-Lo. Like, who are they? It's a collection of the most powerful men in the world, but like you never really get to meet them and who's part of the Patriots until like really deep into the series and understand the formation of the Patriots, how they're controlling the world, even though they were never like this villain directly in front of you that you were fighting. The board of directors being led by The Rock, the final boss, as like their voice, their muscle within the WWE would have been sick. Absolutely sick. Now, it would have been temporary because of The Rock, and whoever took over The Rock would have been a lesser name, not as powerful or intimidating, and it just wouldn't have hit the same. It would have always been this temporary thing, but it would have been gnarly to have board of directors with The Rock as the figurehead,
chairman of the board.
Oh,
yeah, chairman of the board.
Oh, that would have been sick. Absolutely sick. Anyways, major news, rumors, speculation about one powerhouse. No, not Kit Wilson, but he might get destroyed by a Kit Wilson. Powerhouse Hobbs potentially coming to the WWE, and a lot of things.
Queen of the Rings.
Her bow.
Oh, yeah. Her bow.
Potentially just skipping NXT. Rumors of SmackDown potentially, which funny enough is where Kit Wilson is. For Powerhouse Hobbs, of course, equally as viable rumors that it's just going to be going to NXT. NXT, I will make the case for it, got ransacked recently of a lot of top talent. This might be a situation where logistically, when you're trying to maximize workflow efficiencies and synergies and all types of corporate jargon, I think he might be better off right now in NXT. Right now, NXT has this power vacuum with Ricky Saints being far and away, like not even close, the top star in the men's division. Everyone else is like 5 rungs below Ricky Saints, trying to make their names. They've got Keanu Carver, who seems to be this new big scary guy that they're going to be trying to push. You've got Josh Briggs being kind of in the picture as well. So like there is a significant drop off below Ricky Saints after the loss of the big 3, Oba, Trick, and Javon. Adding Powerhouse Hobbs there certainly creates a number 2 for a Ricky Saints, but I will make the case that I think this is a guy that could just go right to the main roster. And I don't think that he is more talented than Ricky Saints that couldn't go to the main roster. I just think that when I look at Will Hobbs, I think he fits the mold of what WWE is really good at booking better than Ricky Saints was. It's funny because I've always believed that a Powerhouse Hobbs kind of guy, he was always a WWE style wrestler living in the AEW world. And I actually think it's very impressive that he managed to survive and thrive there, considering what type of wrestler he is.
The type of stuff he was doing, though, to try to fit in AEW was bonkers. Like, that's too big of a dude to be doing that type of move, type of situation. Yeah, he's sustained some injuries, no doubt, but I don't know, dude. Because let's play scenario. If he goes to NXT, he could run into the Jordan Grace type of situation, right?
Sure.
Where he just becomes spoiled goods over time, possibly. He could marinate a little bit there, get used to the WWE style, which is why Jordan wanted to go to NXT to understand the differences between TNA and WWE. But if he shows up on the main roster as Hobbs, what's the downturn of that? JC Mateo, right?
That's true.
Right?
Random thought experiment. Do you think The Rock goes, sorry, brother, the name Hobbs isn't going to work for me, brother? Because he's Hobbs.
Well, at the same time, dude, they've been trying to find new names for him, and one of them is Big Willie Hobbs. I'm like, what are we doing? Why are we gonna call him Big Willie Hobbs? Please.
I'm on board, brother. Give me Big Willie. No. It should just be Will Hobbs or Powerhouse Hobbs. But like the reason I made that joke with The Rock, for maybe those that didn't connect it, is that he plays Hobbs in Fast and the Furious.
Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah.
Hobbs
What is Hobbs's name in Fast and Furious and Hobbs and Shaw?
Luke Hobbs?
Is it Luke?
Throwing it out there.
I think you might be. It's Luke Hobbs. It's Luke Hobbs.
Oh.
I think The Rock might be like, listen, we have this. It's the same last name as one of my most iconic characters, and it's also a 4-letter first name. We can't have a Luke and a Will. Nice.
Bucket.
That will be my headcanon. If they change him from Hobbs to something else, my headcanon will be that this was the final boss's doing.
Do you remember that scene where The Rock is like all in the hospital and he has his arm broken and he
just flexes
and the cast breaks and you're like, damn, and he's like, Daddy has to go to work. You're like, yeah, you do, Rock. Yeah, you do. Have you ever lusted over someone like Queen of the Ring did over Hobbs? Lusted.
I think that I had my phase with Dom, if you remember that.
Oh, yeah, you did have the Dom phase. Yeah.
I had the big Dom phase. I think that's probably like the one for me. My one and only. How about you? And I'm not going to say, and I just can't say any of the women because that just makes me a creep.
Nah, I went LA Knight, man. You know.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah.
He's
you
broken.
made a glaze factory, so yeah.
I made a whole glaze factory. To talk about Unreal, there is a scene that I talked to you about where they're in Gorilla after Money in the Bank, where Seth Rollins, he throws down LA Knight and he reverses the BFT and he hits a curb stomp. The behind the scenes of that, the Abyss was the producer of that, and they were upset at LA Knight because he didn't do it the way they booked it, where how they produced it, where it was supposed to be Seth Rollins and LA Knight on top of the ladder, and they never got that moment. And then Seth was supposed to fall down, and LA Knight was to be the one up there, and he's like, "Oh, I almost that whole thing, or I'm gonna get it." And then Seth Rollins goes up, shoves him down off the ladder, and then delivers a curb stomp or after the BFT. But that didn't happen. Instead, Seth goes up. LA Knight takes a long time to get up there, and then he goes up there and pulls down Seth Rollins instead of having that moment where they both meet at the top. And both Triple H and Abyss were pissed that none of that happened. And Triple H is like, dude, you were supposed to do this. You're supposed to do that. You're supposed to go over it. And that moment was for you. That was for you, Knight. That was for you to build up that, oh my God, he was so close to getting it. And that was supposed to bring in that fire that we did not have. And LA Knight's just sitting there like, bewildered. And he's like dejected, I would say. And he goes, yeah. And he's just like soaking it all in because he's just coming off the high of beating that match and being like told from Triple H, the man himself, that he messed it up. And I'm like, dude, those are the moments that I think that we're not seeing as a fan. They add up for LA Knight. Like, yeah, maybe he is great in the ring, but he's not getting what they want, the little details. And they're asking for him to get those details right. And he keeps blundering those little details. And that's why we've been wondering, like, why is he in the doghouse? Why is he in the doghouse? That right there showed us on Unreal 2 why he could be in this doghouse. And at the same time, my biggest thing about Unreal, now that more and more it's been around, is we're not meant to see how mistakes or the sauce is being made, because in theater, when a line is flubbed or something goes wrong backstage, no one knows. And no one knew that Money in the Bank that LA Knight messed up. We all just saw that, oh, he was so close and he almost got it. But now we know that he messed up. And now we know that he's not happy in favor with the Triple H and the Abyss producers. And it just makes, the more and more you see of this kind of stuff in Unreal, the more and more things make sense, Santi. The more and more like, the LA Knight Glaze Factory is because this dude is not getting every single freaking detail done right. And maybe other superstars are, and he's just not.
May I maybe just present the downer side of things, where you're just getting played by Unreal, and that was all for the cameras because we don't know.
I don't know, man.
But that's the key thing, right? You don't know. I don't know either. I can't get behind Unreal. I can't get behind Unreal because of that. Right,
because they could be making me feel more sympathetic for an LA Knight, right? You introduce this angle that, look, LA Knight's not the guy who's picked, is not the guy who's loved. And because of that, are you just ripping it left and right going?
No, man. I heard my dog kind of make a little whimpering sound. I was wondering where he was.
Going,
I just didn't want to like roll over his adorable little paw. Oh,
So,
he's down
like,
here playing. Never mind. I hear him now. I
So
know
you
where he
might
is.
you might be right that they introduced this in Unreal 2 so we could gain sympathy for LA Knight so that when he does get it at Money in the Bank this year, because he flubbed this one and then he wins that one, we could be like, oh, hell yeah, type of thing.
Yeah.
You might be right. Might be right.
Maybe. That's my fundamental problem with Unreal. I once had a friend, like I've had it so many times, right? Where like, you watch wrestling? Wrestling is fake. You know, I've had that a million times. And more often than not, when I dissect it, they can't really break it down why they hate wrestling or why they feel it's okay to tell me it's fake. I know it's fake. So what's your problem with wrestling? What's your problem with wrestling versus Breaking Bad? They're both pieces of fiction. And it always just bewilders them. They have no idea how to respond to that. I had one friend that told me the reason he doesn't like wrestling was because, at least in his point of view, it is a piece of fictional entertainment that presents itself as real. I said, fair. If that bothers you, I don't think it presents itself as real, but I could see why you would think it might present itself as real. And I could see that being annoying. And now I'm thinking back to that because he said that to me like 14 years ago. That, I think, is my fundamental problem with Unreal. It is what I now believe to be a piece of fiction that is selling itself as nonfiction, biographical, true, real, behind the scenes documentary. When I don't think it is. I think that there's portions of it that probably are, and maybe that's one of them. But I'll never know. Like I'll never know. I'll always have that in the back of my mind as the show that's presenting itself to be real, when in my heart of hearts, I still think that there's a big element of fiction behind it.
Do you think that there's people out there that do believe that reality television is real?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely 1,000,000% those people exist.
And at the same time, they don't know because my wife watches Bravo Housewives.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, don't worry. My fiance does as well. Love
her to death.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm sitting there, honey, you do know that they could just edit pieces and zoom ins and dramatic music, and they'll make the most simplest statement into a bigger deal. And they could produce these women to fight each other by just putting them in these awkward situations that they don't want to be in anyway. And then they cut to like a little segment behind it, and they add more to the fire that's written and things like that. It's like, you do all know that at the end of the day, they're just here to make money, right? Why would you want all that? Speaking of which, why does the WWE don't do more confessional type of things? Like the little room. Imagine Tozawa goes into a little room like, I hate Otis.
With the dramatic music. Dun, 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 dun. Well, that's Shark Tank.
That's Shark Tank. Dun, dun.
Oh, man. I would love Tozawa to do a pitch at Shark Tank. Selling his patented hand weights.
I sent you a TikTok.
I did. I saw it. I don't know what you're talking about.
Tozawa going in slow motion and Oba Femi's team's playing.
I think the caption was Tozawa trading for getting squashed by Oba Femi, and it's just good times. Moving on here, man. Drew McIntyre. We one of the things that we joked about here time after time is never getting out of the Wepaverse, and you're kind of being forever in the Wepaverse. Is Drew McIntyre the first survivor of the Wepaverse? Because I would argue that he is not fully survived. Damian is still in the picture. Damian could still become number one contender, and they could start this all over again.
I think a lot of people forget that Drew and Damian has a lot of more history, I would say, on a grander stage than Sammy and Drew, right?
I mean, yeah, they had a Mania match. They had a literal Mania match. And actually, they've had two. They've had two Mania matches. The cash-in and then the street fight. They've had back-to-back WrestleMania matches. That is a tremendous amount of history. No one leaves the Wepaverse. Not even winning a WWE Undisputed Championship saves you from the Wepaverse. I don't think it's I told you my scenario of like maybe Sammy loses. I think there's like a 1% chance Damian Priest wins this. I don't think it's zero. I really don't think it's zero.
Can I tell you the next victim of the Wepaverse?
Tell me. Is that
Oh,
Damian calling
right now.
you?
Oh, hello.
This is 1-800-WEPA. What can we do for you?
The next victim is Trick Willie with his lemon pepper Wepa steppers.
1,000,000%. I agree with you. That's exactly where I think things are going to go. 5 months of feuding in the Wepaverse with Damian Priest. It'll be the lemon pepper Wepa steppers. That will be the feud. Oh,
Are you excited? Are you excited for Trick Willie? I mean, we have our own brain rot. Our own brain rot will excite us.
Yeah.
Our communities will survive because they'll be like, another Wepa. We've had some fun. Lemon pepper Wepa steppers. We're going to be giggling during our watch parties. I don't know why I did this gesture, but hey, here we are. We are going to have fun with the Wepaverse and Trick Willie, but will the casual audience? I think it's to be a great stepping stone for Trick Willie to go up against Damian Priest. Damian Priest is not an easy out. Damian Priest is proven to be the guy who's willing to make you look strong. Sure. But eventually, Damian gets his way, and he will win like 4 or 5 matches down the road.
Yeah, I think if they were to run, let's say, a Mania Trick Willie Damian, that's big for Trick, right? What else could you do for Trick that could be more exciting than that? Like it could be maybe Carmelo US title, maybe.
Randy would be too far-fetched.
I think there's bigger things for Randy. I want to be realistic for a Trick. Yes. Like realistic.
You want Cody and Randy. Yeah.
Yeah, I think realistically speaking for Trick in his first 3 months on being on the main roster, getting a Mania match with a former world champion, somebody that's always kind of in the main event ecosystem, I think is a great vote of confidence for Trick Williams.
Can't be a Sami Zayn. I think it's too lateral of a move. It's not a big enough jump, and Sami won't benefit in any way from that match. But I think Damian, I could see some from promos between Damian and Trick Williams, because with Sami Zayn and Trick Williams, it becomes too, you're the rookie, you're not ready for this, I'm gonna talk on my high horse. Versus Damian and Trick Williams, I feel like they could play off each other a little bit well. If Damian could get away from his tough guy persona and lean more into, like we mentioned before, the Street King, I think Trick Williams could bring that out of him.
I don't know. I don't disagree. I think it'd be fun. I think that would be a good sequel to our next movie of the Wepaverse.
And if he says Wepa Steppers, dog, Oscar, 1, deserves a medal, and 2, Damian, it's right there. Take the layup, take the 2 points, say Wepa Steppers. Like,
Wepa Steppers, that's it.
This is take it, dude. You have your lemon pepper Wepa Steppers. I have Wepa Steppers.
Maybe there's an odd chance that some low end entry level WWE employee is watching this.
Oh, 100%.
I'm telling you right now, low end Jimmy, take it to the writing staff. You will be promoted to CEO within 5 months. You're going to bring them gold, lemon pepper Wepa Steppers, and they're gonna say, "By God."
Or just tell it to Damian, like, hey, what if he said lemon pepper Wepa Steppers?
Yeah, dude. Just the janitor of WWE headquarters. I know you're listening to this. This is how you move up in the world. Bring lemon pepper Wepa Steppers to somebody that can make it happen on WWE TV. It's like the story of the guy in the
Hot Cheetos.
Hot Cheetos. Yes. 100%. It's the Hot Cheetos story.
This is your Hot Cheeto, my guy. This is the way to move it to the table floor, baby.
That's so funny that we both ended on the Hot Cheeto guy story.
I was waiting to jump in, the Hot Cheeto guy. Dude, I'm gonna pop so hard for that if he says it. Wepa Steppers?
Wepa Steppers? Well, no, it's from this community. We'll know it's from our ecosystem where this originated. Ground Zero. I still believe we were Ground Zero of the Final Boss nickname. I will continue to believe that. We were calling him Final Boss Vibes weeks before the Final Boss name came out. Just throwing that out there. And if you hear Lemon Pepper Wepa Steppers, it was a member of our community that brought it here, and we sent it out in a nuke to the world. And hopefully somebody catches our message in a bottle and brings it to Damian Priest. It could happen.
What if it's Damian that listens to it? I doubt any wrestlers listen to the show. We had our friends. We have AJ Francis. Sure, he probably jumps in and see what you're up to. Maybe Dijak wants to find a way to ratio you for sure. BDE.
But it'd be like if we watched podcasts about content creation. I occasionally will for my own learning and stuff. We'll watch some stuff, but it's not something that is part of my weekly viewing. Sure. It's already my job. Why do I need to watch other people talk about my job?
Yeah. I think most wrestlers will know you from your reactions. They wouldn't say, "Oh, I listened to the Wrestling is Cool podcast." Yeah, they wouldn't say that.
I think this is a purely fan-driven show and experience designed for fans. I don't see much value in wrestlers listening to our show, which maybe I'm downplaying our show, but I think this is for fans.
I wonder if you're an indie wrestler. I'm sure you would watch it because you're a fan of the product of the WWE as well. But I'm interested to hear. I know Tommy Invincible, Invincible listens to us, type of vibe every now and then.
Sure.
Oh, Jelly Roll clearly watches your stuff.
Hey,
YouTube
Jelly.
stuff. So that's different.
Maybe he's just man. After that Oba take, this Sancho guy, I don't know about him. Man, people were mean in the comments. You guys were mean, real mean about it.
It's okay. I'm a big boy. Big boy.
I can't remember. Was it an episode of The Simpsons where people were making fun of somebody oh, that doesn't hurt him, and then it closes up to him and he turns around and he's got one single tear. I can't remember what TV show that was. It's something. Anyways, Pat McAfee, football's done. Fernando Mendoza.
What a run. What a
insane.
Baller of a run, dude.
Legendary run. So happy for that team. But man, Miami, those guys are dogs. A number 10 seed making it that far, taking the undisputed number 1 seed to the limit, man. I got to give some props to the guys at the U. They were absolute dogs during this playoffs. The reason I'm bringing it up is because now Pat McAfee's work with NCAA presumably done, unless he's going to continue to do more with basketball, which isn't certainly out of the picture. You got March Madness coming up. Maybe they want a big name like the Pat McAfee show while working it. A lot of March Madness takes place in Indy because they've got the big infrastructure for college basketball there. So maybe. But historically, this is when Pat McAfee starts to return into the WWE. This is when he returned last year. He returned at the Rumble, and then he was commentary throughout until he left again. Left a little bit premature this time around after Backlash. At Backlash. This feels different, though. This doesn't feel like a foregone conclusion that Pat's going to come back. It feels like, even though he's obviously a huge fan of the product, loves what he does, that he doesn't need it enough to put himself through whatever mental fatigue he was going through when he left the last time around. There's no need for him from a financial standpoint. This guy is a made man, and he continues to get bigger and bigger and bigger with every single college football season. And I think that's kind of where we're at. I think Pat McAfee might just be a guy that comes back whenever he wants to at this point. Or maybe just never. Maybe he just doesn't come back.
Yeah, I feel like the WWE is set in the commentary rotation, right?
Yeah,
they got Joe Tessitore, who's also another college guy, or he does sports, and they have Corey Graves, they have good old Michael Cole, and I think they're kind of set. And Wade Barrett, so they're that's the 4 you need going forward, and I don't think you need a Pat McAfee. And at the same time, since Pat McAfee, I don't know, man. I think he burnt out on it. I don't think we've seen him for a while. I mean, when you burn out on something, you physically can't wrap your head around.
I agree.
Showing up.
Maybe, if he wants to just do it for fun with less pressure, maybe because this is where he started, maybe he does NXT commentary. It's no traveling, right? It's hey, I know where I'm going to be every single week. It's in Orlando. And him and Vic Joseph and Booker could be a really fun commentary trio without stepping on the toes of those guys that are trying to make full careers out of it, like Corey Graves, like Wade Barrett, Joe Tess, and obviously already a made man in Michael Cole. We could be looking at maybe, hey, let me go back to my roots. Let me just be a fan while being in commentary on NXT. That could be kind of cool too.
I do think where they kind of ruined Pat McAfee was that match against Gunther. I think that match against Gunther made him too much of a factor in booking, because then he kind of downgraded Gunther. And at the same time, Pat McAfee, I don't think he ever wanted to be kind of like a figure like that. He just wanted to be the fun commentary guy. And maybe fans rejected a little bit of Pat there because of what that booking went down, because that was such a weird time. I like the idea of Pat McAfee staying up to Gunther, but it just made no sense for him to take Gunther to the brink. And then that's where he kind of disappeared after that. He never really had a long run after that moment. Like, you would think like a Pat McAfee would be able to continue to be around considering he took Gunther. But what do you do? What does that do to Gunther, who can't even beat a commentator, and he's always there hanging around?
It was just
yeah, but
very competitive. Some people have retconned that match. People saying like it wasn't competitive, because I said that in one of the videos. People in the comment section of that clip were like, he beat him in like 3 minutes. I think it was like 15. Let me just confirm that. Backlash 2025 at Backlash. Gunther versus Pat McAfee, ladies and gentlemen, was a 14-minute match. Let that sink in for a second. There's a guy with a literal sink at your front door. Let it in right now. Let that sink in. A 14-minute match for Gunther and Pat McAfee, where Pat McAfee multiple times got out of the sleeper hold. That is not a good look for Gunther.
And you have to remember, he literally just left mid-show. Remember that?
Yeah.
He was just there, and then he was just gone. So I don't see him coming back, and he has too much of a good thing. The only reason why you would say he would come back is if ESPN wanted him to be there to foster that relationship.
Sure.
Migrate that audience of the Pat McAfee to the WWE, because they need to boost those numbers.
Good point.
I do see him continuing to have superstars on his show, getting ready for a Mania or Rumble. Like, I do see that role being played out very well. I do see him representing the WWE on ESPN on other shows very well. But I don't think he's going to be as dedicated as being a flying in every week, being on commentary, understanding the stories. And I don't even see him being at Rumble commentary, because you still need to know stories. Because that last time he was at Rumble, he was kind of like there, but surface level commentary. He didn't know why people were ticking and why. He was just reacting to what's happening, is almost as if it was like Michael Cole, as if he was ever going to call AAA. He doesn't know the ins and outs, but he knows a cool move when he sees one, type of thing.
Yeah. Like, I don't think we can get much deeper than that, honestly, when it comes to Pat McAfee. I think. Do
you want Pat McAfee back as a commentator?
I really like the consistency that we have with these with the current commentary team, and I want them to get as good with one another as humanly possible. And I do think, and you would know a lot more than me in this regard, I do think that adding a third person, a third member, changes the relationship and dynamic to basically have to maybe start from zero and start from scratch. And let's say it's Corey Graves and Michael Cole, and all of a sudden you add Pat McAfee in there and you make it a 3 commentary table. Well, you have Michael Cole and Pat McAfee who have a great relationship with one another, and then Pat McAfee and Corey Graves who don't have a great relationship with one another. Now I think we have a weird dynamic. And then you put him over on SmackDown. He has no relationship at all with all 3 of those guys, even though Joe Tess and Wade Barrett are starting to build one. I feel like if you put him there, everyone has to start from scratch. I would rather allow these guys to flourish and build a strong chemistry and relationship, as opposed to adding Pat McAfee in there on a whim for one-offs, for a long-term run. I'm a little bit different than a lot of fans. I don't necessarily believe that commentary is the most valuable, most important thing. I think it's important, but I don't see it in the same vein as maybe a lot of people do. It's certainly not as much as you do. Like, for example, there's another aspect, like people were so upset with Samantha left the ring announcing gig. I was like, she's good, but I don't care. Next person up. Like, this doesn't impact my viewing of the show. To a degree, it's kind of the same for commentary, not as much as ring announcer, but I still would rather have a better built relationship between the commentary tables. And adding Pat McAfee, I think it's a wild card that could just kind of shake things up a little bit too much.
Yeah, as a commentator, just to quickly add to that, there was nothing as bad as when they rotated multiple commentators to find the right pairing. That was like some of the hardest things to do as a commentator for Fortnite esports, by the way. So it was like they were like, we're going to mix up pairings this week, and you're going to be with this person this week and next week. You're just like, no. It only got better when I was with one guy.
Yeah.
And
When you guys were
multiple-
getting swapped around, do you ask like why? Like, and do you get an answer, or is it just like
we know we're just want to experiment, and we want to find out what works for this region, what works for that region. And I remember having a conversation with them, and they were like, we want you to leave your guy that we've been with for like 7 months, and we finally formed like a sick ass style and a sick ass like kind of like a unspoken language, because we were remote most of the time. And you and I, we work remotely for everything that we do, because you're in Canada, I'm in Texas. So we right now are forming like an unspoken language. And let's just say we added a third. It will mess everything up that we have, because we don't know when to interject.
It's the reason we never have. We've never added a third.
I never added a third. And so it's the same thing. So when I got asked, we were going to move to a different region. One, that's always a problem, even learning a whole new roster. And with a new person, you're just like, oh, well, damn, dude, we had it. He was the lead. I was the guy that would bring in the sauce. And it's the same thing for this thing, you know. Pat McAfee is not the lead. He's the guy that brings in the sauce. When you have Corey Graves, who has the sauce as well, then it just creates too much of a muddy relationship. But chemistry is by far the most important thing as a commentator. They also encourage you for casters is like, hey, hang out with your caster person outside of your job as much as possible. And I think a lot of people don't understand one of the most interesting things from all the Oba thing was like, there's a reason why Santi and we've been together for so long. It's we just have some unmatched chemistry that lasts. And, you know, it's just something that I don't do it. I can't explain it, but the numbers don't lie. And it works. Like everything my Sadie takes and your strong knowledge of the WWE current product, it just works.
It does. And if we add a third, we have to start from scratch. We literally, I think it's starting from scratch. I don't think, because then if we were to rely on our relationship to try and carry it, then all of a sudden we're omitting that third person. Like it doesn't become like the Santi and Sancho relationship, and then we tried to add the third person in there to be part of it. No, we have to find a relationship that is unique to all three of us from the beginning. And I think that'd be hard. Like Lemon Peppa Wepa Steppas, if we were to bring that up with a new third member of this, they'd be lost. They'd be confused.
What's funny is like when we're like on Denise's show, I know you and I both act so differently.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm going to be on Denise's show for Saturday's main event and Royal Rumble post shows, but I don't act the same. It's the different chemistry would be in me and Denise, but it's the same thing. If I'm honestly embarrassed of the chemistry that we have. I'm ashamed. I can't bring the full brunt of I can't. Like I even did it like when we were in TwitchCon, you know, trying to bring the chemistry that we have, the brain rot that we have, and the jokes that we have. It made someone get up and leave. You're like, well, wait a minute. I'm cutting jokes here. Where are you going? So it's a unique acquired taste.
It's true. And I think it goes triple, quintuple, X by 1,000 when it's on live commentary. Stop doing the Kit Wilson. All right. Last couple things that I want to talk about.
They said to man up, and I said, which kind?
Dude, I cannot believe we went almost 2 hours not talking about Finn Balor getting his world title opportunity.
Said that was supposed to be at the top of the
I know, and I was moving things up, and I forgot to like guys. So I have a show list of different bullet points, and we work our way from up to down to where like the less important topics are. I was moving things up. I forgot to copy paste Finn Balor and CM Punk near the top. So I'm sorry. It took nearly 2 hours to get to it. But dude, kind of crazy that just a change of an entrance theme, a change of presentation, just all of a sudden makes you believe in a guy again. That entrance theme, the presentation, the lighting, it made him feel like a star. It made him feel like he belonged in the main event. And my question to you, Sancho, because I never believed that he was going to win. My question is a little bit simpler. Not is he going to win a world championship? Are we going to get now a babyface Finn Balor off of this that becomes a player in the main event picture? Like him losing here after the whole everyone in the Judgment Day is going to have gold. Maybe everyone does have gold soon except him. Could this lead to him being excommunicado by Dominic Mysterio? And this is the catalyst for Dom versus Finn finally. Or are you jaded? Are you, they fooled me once, shame on me, fool me twice, never gonna get fooled again type of deal?
Let me just tell you from Finn Balor himself.
Hey, man.
And a tweet from Finn Balor. Sometimes you got to remind them that's not somebody that's going to be around the main event picture. That's not somebody that's going to be the next big thing in the championship title runs. That's somebody that's like, hey, I appreciate the invite.
Thanks for having me, guys.
For having me.
This was a great dinner. Thank you. I'd love to do this again. Like, let me know when you want me.
Santi, if you were on a date, all right?
No, I'm sending the next date, man.
That's what I mean. It's not a confident line to drop. You know what I mean? It's a clear sign that he was like, I was used for my Belfast roots in terms of that region of the world. I use nostalgia with the NXT theme to let the world know, like, hey, this is a possibility that I could probably beat CM Punk. It was just a way to create a hope spot with a viral twinge with it, with the chance for him, with the like that's the best atmosphere to put Finn Balor on that main event pedestal. It ain't gonna be the same reaction all around the world, my friend. The only where he's gonna get the is in Florida, where NXT country. So I would love to be on the Finn Balor train. We've been down this road a lot. But Finn Balor said it himself. Sometimes you got to remind him. That's not somebody that's like, I can't wait to let the world know where I'm going to, like, this is a new me, new year, new me, 2026 Finn Balor, the year of the Balor. He could have said that. Nah, sometimes you got to remind him.
We talked about it before, about like CM Punk, the whole fighting champion thing is a joke. But he has had now 2 world championship matches in 2 weeks. And in between those 2 weeks, Cody Rhodes had a world championship match. And in those 2 weeks, we've also had a bunch of tag team championship matches, U.S. championship matches, women's intercontinental championship matches, women's U.S. championship matches. How do you feel about this? Are us almost going from 0 to 100 with championship matches? I'm a big fan of it, mostly because we're at the PLE era where they only have 4 matches. So a bunch of these titles sometimes sadly go months without being defended or being featured at all. Sometimes the world championships, didn't it feel like an eternity from WrestlePalooza to the end of the year where we barely got any world championship matches? What did we get in terms of world championship matches from that region, from that time frame? We got Drew versus Cody at WrestlePalooza proper. Then we didn't get anything at the Crown Jewel buildup. Then we didn't get anything for the Saturday night's main event buildup. It was forced on us that they had a world championship match, CM Punk and Jey Uso, because they got vacated. I doubt there was going to be a world championship match if it wasn't for the Seth Rollins injury. No world championship match for the men going into War Games. Nothing between War Games and the New Year. Dog, it was like 5 months of only like 2 or 3 world championship matches. And now we are 20 days into the year and 15 days since the first world championship match on Raw Day 1, and we've already had 3 world championship matches, and I love it. I think it's great.
I wanted to see more tag team though, but I mean, clearly, hopefully everything's going away with Jimmy and Naomi. But it just shows you when they're not on the television screen, there is an issue, and that's where I see Stephanie Vacquera's title, Jade Cargill's title, the Usos title, even the United States title for the women. When it's not being defended, you have to buck the trend that Triple H was going, where if you win the title, you go on ice. And I'm glad that they're bucking that trend hardcore for everybody, especially the main event. But it just shows you that everybody needs that same treatment, because it's the easiest thing to keep drama going is just to have a world title match or have a title match, because it's something that everybody, as simplistic on the surface level, is everything's going after. And that is why the IC title is such in a weird spot, because it's Dom's out. Typically they have the 30-day, you don't defend it, you relinquish it type of thing. On the same time, with Dom being out, that entire mid-card is dead on Raw. Like, there's just nothing happening for that mid-card division because the title is not present. I do wish, to add to your point, that they gave us that 30-day or that rematch clause. I think rematch clause is another missing factor for the hot potato of everything. I know you mentioned this in the show with Denise on her show after Raw, was that they had an opportunity to put the belt on Finn Balor and to have a rematch for him at Elimination Chamber in Chicago for CM Punk.
Hometown for hometown, like they did with Dom and Cena.
So there was that opportunity to do that, but I think it's because they took away so many things that I feel that the previous years, in like as you look at Vince's era and the Vince building this entire company, that they put those things in there because it just made sense to run a rematch back within the 30 days. And if you're a champion and you can't go, then when you relinquish the title, I mean, granted, the different wrestle schedule is you wrestle to make money. But I think there's interesting that those old kind of rules would have made sense in today's era. And there's a reason why those stood the test of time, but I don't know why we dropped them in the modern era.
Why would they get rid of rematch clauses? And do you think maybe they just felt too handcuffed by them? Like, okay, we have to do this, and maybe narratively this isn't where we want to go. But I mean, that's kind of the only logical reason, right?
Because you had Mania, and then what did you have at Payback? The rematch again, right?
Yeah, that was the backlash or whatever. Yeah,
backlash, right? The ricochet of all the yeah, sure, backlash. But that's like the whole point about the entire thing is, I do think you're onto something that you can't have. They just didn't want to invest 2 PLE cycles on a feud, maybe.
But hey, that's where any given Monday, right? Give it to us on a Monday night, and if you want to move on from the feud right there, so that you can still build up to the next PLE for somebody else, and you still can. I like this. I like the fact that we're getting all these title matches. Somebody in my comment section was I don't want to use the word complaining, maybe giving their feedback that they felt
suggestions,
that they felt it was diluting the importance of title matches. And
that's that gas. They got lit. They got gaslit. Triple H. Yeah, let's make the championship matches only at PLEs and make it on the big 4. I
think that's a little bit of brainwashing, respectfully, in terms of what I think about that. I think I think you're allowing yourself to have the match importance be diluted. Just because it exists, I don't think it dilutes the importance of the next one, of the next story.
Did you have a percentage and maybe Finn Balor could pull it off?
Yeah, and it was the only reason was what I said in the post show with Denise. Hey, we just saw WWE do it with Cena and Dom, quick championship run so that Cena can get his win in home territory, and then Dom win it back in home territory. They had the opportunity to do the same thing here if they wanted to, and we saw from Io Sky, you could totally win a world championship a month before WrestleMania and build to something cool. And I think that they could have easily done that with CM Punk if they wanted to, but
that would have put Finn Balor in a whole other level, dude.
It's a stratosphere change. Like it would have completely written the wrongs of everything that they've done to Finn Balor over the past literal 7, 8, 9 years.
But you know what hit me? It was funny because we're obviously at the watch party, and I love watch party main events because that's when the crowd, the chat just gets a little quiet, right? They kind of chill because they're intentionally watching too. Mm. And that moment where, he hits the coup de grace, and I'm like, yeah, it's not going to work because he hit Davian with 6 of those.
I forgot about that. When Davian just got hit with 50 of them and still was Wepa.
And he got hit with one on the back of the head.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Oh, you're so right. I wasn't thinking about that in the moment, but you are so right.
And in the moment when he kicked out and see him puck it out, yeah, there it is. It's you need a new finisher, dog. I'm sorry. You kind of killed it. With Davian killed that one so easily when he ate 6 of them in a row almost.
Yeah.
The Wepaverse provides, dude.
Hey,
The weapon power.
let's start to wrap things up. There's not really much to talk about here, but hilarious AI blunder from WWE. We were watching. I didn't notice this in the moment because it is like a frame.
It was a sick vignette too.
Yeah,
I was
I liked it.
it.
I liked it. I've made it pretty clear that like I am not as big a hater of AI as a lot of the internet is. I mean, it is what it is, man. It's human development, and if that's where human development is gonna go, well, I guess humans gotta adapt to it. But like what WWE did here was put real footage into some sort of AI filter.
Yeah, like a cartoon filter.
Yeah, the AI cartoon filter and the AR cartoon filter during Dominic's vignette about his time as a AAA Mega Campeón for one frame changed the AAA title to the AEW World title, and they just left it there. Like it's not even like, is that maybe AEW? No, it is clear as day. The letters in bold. AEW. For a second, Dominic Mysterio was the AEW World Champion, according to AI. They left it in for the show. It's still up on their social media feeds. I don't think they give a damn. That's it. There's nothing else to say about that.
Was it interesting that I'm gonna make a video about this, but that a little bit of tender care and love for a wrestler makes you just feel like a badass. Like Dom felt like a world beater in that vignette, right? Like him cruising in the streets and him just talking so nonchalantly about everything. I was like, damn, I'm enamored with this Dom. And it's interesting because the WWE audience is in that universe sees Dom in a different way, but the AAA audience sees Dom in a completely different, and he's presented in a different way. The same thing with Grande Americano, who had his little Nacho Libre moment against Omos. And even Omos presented in a different way as a giant. And then dude, it's so jarring to me to watch AAA on Fox on Saturday, which is only an hour show, which I thought interesting. I thought this would be a 2 hour. It was only an hour show. To see Grande Americano loved and revered, and then jumping to that Javon Evans like match, I was like, really, really weird. And by the way, I'm sorry, Santi. I was with you on board Grande Americano, but Rio and Bravo should not say a word.
That was so bad. That was so. I mean, I was cackling, laughing on stream at their attempt to do a Mexican accent. It was real bad. They need to be silent protagonists here. They should not be talking.
Like Kaiser pulls it off because he invested in it and it works so well. But I think they eventually said, Rio and Bravo, you need to say something too. And boy, what came out of their mouth, I was like, oh, no, this is what I was afraid of.
Yeah. Kaiser needs to be the one doing 1,000,000% of the talking. The Rio and Bravo. It was on commercial.
Thank God. Thank God. All right,
that's the saving grace. Yeah, hit me with it.
All right, this is last week's, just the last week's graphics. We had at number 10, Cody Rhodes, number 9, Adam Pearce, number 8, Jordan Grace, number 7, Trick Williams, number 6, Raquel, Braun Breaker and Finn at 5, and then AJ Styles, Gunther, Jacob Fatu, and Drew Mack. Let's go ahead and do the Unity order on the thing. This is the buzz, the excitement, what gets everybody going. At number 1, no matter good or bad, by the way, is just what we're seeing on weekly television. Number 1, Sancho West with the most controversial take in 2026.
Hey, wait, this you said San, and it reminded me that Santos came back to WWE and AAA.
He did. Santos Escobar
with the Hijo del Fantasma mask too. But then took it off, and it's Santos Escobar. That just in case people didn't know.
Against Hijo de Wagner Jr.
Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr.
You know, I prediction. AAA people in the Rumble. Mr. Iguana?
Sure. Yeah. Mr. Iguana.
Maybe.
I don't see any of the ladies. I don't see any of the ladies in the Women's Rumble. I see Hijo del Vikingo, perhaps.
Oh, dude! Did you see that viral clip of Grande Americano?
Dude,
lay up my neck.
Yeah, dude, and then he kicks him again. And he goes, "Chinga tu madre!" It just felt real. It felt real.
It's because his mask got caught on the turnbuckle, so it was like like that. And he was. If I was Kaiser, I'd be like, "Yeah, I'm not coming down here anymore." All right, what were you saying? Mr. Iguana, Psycho Clown, for
I
just
could
a
see
moment
what,
of ripping off.
yeah, the moment of ripping off the mask. I could see. I think it's one of three. I think it's Mr. Iguana, Dr. Wagner, because of all I think he's fantastic, great
Right.
entrance theme, and he already has a relationship with like Ethan Page, who is rumored to be in this Rumble too, and Hijo del Vikingo. I think those are kind of like their three biggest names right now that are homegrown AAA. La Parka would be sick though.
Parker would be sick. So no love for the ladies. No La Flamer.
I don't think Flammer. I don't think Chick Tormenta. I
No
haven't.
Las Toxicas.
I don't think so. Do you? Has anybody of the women's side of things from AAA stood out to you? No, not Fabi. Nobody really.
I feel like you would need to dip into NXT first. That's my mind where it's at right now.
Sure.
Because I feel like this men's Rumble, I don't see anyone from NXT.
I do. I do see like Ethan. I see like
Ethan, of course, yeah.
Ethan. I see
Ricky
Ethan. Maybe Ricky Saints. But yeah, I do see NXT in this Rumble. Like Ethan, but Ethan has already had a connection on the main roster.
For the ladies, I'd say a lot of NXT talent. Yes.
I could see plenty of NXT talent. Ethan, I think like they already have maybe even a ready-made connection for Ethan Page, a Matt Cardona, Chelsea Green's husband versus Chelsea Green's work husband, almost basically. I think they could do something there.
I think you definitely have Kendall in NXT.
That'd be sick
for the women's.
That'd be sick. Anyways,
New Heat Order number 1.
You want to give this to Finn?
Sure.
Let's give it to Finn this week.
Sure.
When he finds out that he was number 1 in the new Heat Order, he's gonna tweet out. Had to remind him.
Yeah, he reminded us.
Had to remind him.
Number 2. I could put we didn't talk about Mello versus Leon Slater. That was a sick match.
That was a sick match.
Really good. Really good. He's on the list somewhere for sure. Kit Wilson has to be on the list.
No, Kit Wilson will be on the list. Yeah.
All right. And maybe Trick making it.
I think Trick will be on the list.
Okay.
Yeah. We got some names here.
Drew with the great Mania entrance.
Give me Drew at 2. I would honestly even put CM Punk here in the top 5. That was a great match.
At 3?
Let's go Punk at 3. Yeah, let's do it.
I did like what he said. This is Balor country, huh? As he came out and they were singing his song, he was like, this is Balor country, huh? All right, there it is, your list. Number 4, Jacob Fatu.
Yeah, give me Jacob. Toxic Jacob.
Okay. Toxic. Cody Rhodes at 5 then, huh?
Yeah. I think maybe now we can put Kit Wilson.
Yes.
Kit Wilson.
You know what? I want to push back here. That pop was probably 40% England pop, London pop, 60% Kit Wilson viral pop. There's so much pushback from my comment, like this dude's mad over. It's like, it's because they're in London. No. I've heard of hometown pop before.
I do think that it's really well timed, almost like opposite of what we were talking about with Austin Theory, where he was just put in the doldrums. Being in Europe with all of this stuff, and then you know where he gets to come back to? Montreal, a known hot crowd again that I think will also give Kit Wilson some love on Friday. Kit Wilson.
Number 7, Adam Pearce.
Ooh. And think about that. Yeah, I'll take Adam Pearce here. I think that's a good one.
All right.
Any ladies?
Any ladies, I was about to say.
This week.
I mean, they all just came out and declared for the Rumble.
Yeah, maybe you want to put Jordan Grace here?
A squash match against Chelsea, 2 minutes.
And then, calling out the champion.
Babysitting the title.
I think we could put maybe 10.
Okay.
For Jordan Grace, I do think this was a slower week for the ladies.
Yeah, they usually carry Raw. They didn't do much this Raw. I always remember how to spell. Nah.
Okay.
Nah. I always know how to spell Jordan by is Jordy. Like I just spell Jordy and 2 N's and E. Jordy.
Okay. I do the like Spanish kid brain. I do Jordine.
Oh, God bless you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
All right, now we have 8 and 9 available here. Raquel
Trick?
was an off week for
We
her.
haven't put Trick.
Yeah.
He closed SmackDown, dude. He closed SmackDown on top.
He
I might put him higher.
Sami Zayn. Ooh.
I might put him higher.
Higher than Kit at 6?
No. Yeah, let's just keep him where he's at.
I like what he said. He looked at Trick Williams. He goes, Trick Willie, toxic. He kept moving. Hey, not a bad showing for Matt Cardona. I think we're going to see that this is the Matt Cardona job here. This is to make people look really good working matches. I don't know if we're ever going to see a Matt Cardona run to a singles. Maybe he answers the United States title here and there, but I think the true final version of Matt Cardona in this run of WWE is him being with Chelsea Green.
I agree.
See that too?
Yeah, I think that has to be inevitable. I think absolutely they should be running that.
All right.
And
number 9.
Number 9.
Yeah, one more. Who's number 9?
Want maybe put Randy here?
Randy.
Oh, AJ Styles and Gunther, dude.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think we got to move Jordan Grace off.
Okay. Sorry, Jordan Grace.
Yeah.
Put AJ. No, you know what? I'm gonna put AJ. I put AJ over Gunther here. There you go. Because you know what? I do like the idea of the heel Gunther going. You know what? Because he was about to leave the ring and then he came back and he threw down that challenge. I
liked it.
All right, number 10, Gunther. Number 9, AJ Styles. Number 8, Trick Williams. Number 7, Adam Pearce. Number 6, Kit Wilson. Number 5, Cody Rhodes. Number 4, Jacob Fatu. Number 3, CM Punk. Number 2, Drew Mack. Number 1, Finn Balor. That's
it. Well, folks, thank you very much for listening to this episode of the Wrestling is Cool podcast. Of course, an extra special thank you goes out to our $15 patrons. They are the ones who are producers of the show. And of course, get their names read out. And I got to put my glasses on for this. So a special thank you goes out to Chargers, our posers and frauds, Toasty, Ayo Salguero, Active D4C, Aiden S, Abreem Zuda, Alex Regal, Alex, Alfie the Chosen One, Alfie Walfi, American Nightmare, Cody Lander, Antonio Arjona, Antony, Ariel Pacheco, Arrogance, Ashley, Ozzy Kingslayer. Hey, it's me, Wepping. I'm here to Weppa. Bailey Saunders, Beans, Be Hostile, Bill Goldberg, but in Brett's voice. Blenda, Blue Cord, Bluefish 3, Brad Lee, Brad Primo, Brody Cyphers, Brian Gallardo, Cameron Waring, Cameron Talks WWE, Cameron Whittle, CB, Chad, Chris Butner Lucas, Christian Anderson, Chucky Gonzalez, Colby Mayo, Cool Whip Tim, Corey King, Dan Schubert, The Press Finn Balor Lover, Derek Barnhart, Digi316, D. Lopez, Dominic DeCoco, Drake May is better than the entire Chargers line. Dylan.
That's anyone. The Chargers line is god awful.
Booty. Eagle Steve, Ed Coast. No, that's better than the Chargers line. El Hijo de un Gringo, El Juan de Americano, Eric Ruiz Romero, Ethan Richardson, Isatch, Rejoice, Greg Roman is gone. Hey, it's Sancho. I'm tired of Ryback. Hey. Finger Poke of Doom, 5 Knuckle RKO, Fletcher Walpole, FMFCMA, Foster JK, Freddie Trejo, Freezer, Fugnux, F as in Fugnux, U as in Ugnux, Garrett Woods, Gilbert Deans, Godspeed, Goose Lesnar, GXA Man, Heath Robertson, Hey Shakes. I feel like 240p Mark Henry on the top of the cage. I like Big Santi. I cannot lie. I turned heel on my boss. I'm Rick James, bitch. Ian McNugget, I'm Braun Strowman. Issa says, week 6 of asking Santi to pay for my WrestleMania ticket. It should have been me to marry Santi. It's Mista, it's Bogey, it's Astro Kid, Jack Glibley, Jack Harris, Jackson, Jacob Mueller, Jacob Saffold, James Armand, Jared Hernandez, Jason De Dios, Jason Flint, Jason Vane.
Let me point out this tweet. Someone wrote this. 2026 can really beat 2016 for Finn if he leaves the Judgment Day, wins the world title, finally booked like a real top guy, brings back his old entrance theme permanently, revives Demon Balor, makes him feel unbeatable again, feuds with top stars of the company, turns babyface, lets the crowd fully get behind him, and then when he gets this right, Finn can be right back where he belongs.
Yeah, we're just right there.
We're just right there, brother.
We're right there, brother.
If only he did that. Talk about heavy lifting, my guy.
Jason De Dios, Jason Flint, Jason Vane, Javier Rodriguez, Jax Teller, Javion McDuffie, JC Worley, Jeremiah Finley, Jahihi, Joe Benitez, Joe Exotic, Joe Velez, Joey Romig, Jonathan Cox, Johnny Moore, Johnny Owens, Jordan Lynch, Josh Norfleet, Joshua Kane, Juan Vega, Julian Wainwright, Justin Brooks, Justin Perkins, Caleb Martin, Kevin Bega, Kit Wilson reminds me of Shawn Michaels, KJ, Liam, Lil Shifu, Logan Ward, look, it's Pac-Man, Wepa, Luis Jimenez, Majed, Mal the Sol Ruka Glazer, Malachi Blackwell, Manny Fernandez, Mark, Marnie YCSM, Matthew Oberg, Matthew Watkins, Mossy, Mackay, Meredith Lee, Michael Paz, Michael III, Michael Vera, Miguel Paredes, Minoru Suzuki is goated, Muhammad Albanai, Mr. Gibby Fresh Zamp, Nathan Tully, Nicholas Kyle Nihilus, Nyquil Pad, Noah, Obi Nobi, Oil Up Teddy, Oil Up Now, Santi, Old Man, Rican, Oliver Hammonds, Omar Ghazawi, Papa Bear, 26, Pat R, Pat McMark, Frody, Prince Vegeta, Puppet Spanker Johnson, R.I.P. Vegan Penguin, Rainer, Nico, Reaper God, Red Hot Wepa Peppas.
The Red Hot Peppa Weapons.
The Red Hot Wepa Peppas. Anyways, Rick Mar 1R, Ricky Dutcher, Ruben Sanchez, Ryan Halberg, Ryan Munez, Ryan Spradley, Riley, Sadie Brink. Sancho doesn't get a safe space or thumbnail. Sancho is a B+ player. Sancho's left nut. Santi eats Sancho the long way. Santi is toxic. Santi versus Diddy in an oil up match. Santi custom games. Sauce God, Saudi Rig Bug, Savage Fields, Scott Linden, Shane, Shitstain Nakamura, Sir Nightmare, Slayer, Stay True, Styles Crash, Super Malachi Galaxy, the adrenaline in Sancho's bowl doesn't flush. The Patriots own the Chargers. The two deadbeat dads in the ring joke got me. Thanks. That's to you, Sancho. You listeners, if you're not on the Patreon, you don't know what that is. Go watch one of the recent match clubs to know what Sancho said.
Wait, was that?
There was that.
Okay, I don't need to know. Yeah.
Vanilla Jorilla, the Wepa Warrior, Bing Bong, the LA Knight Mega Glazer, Jacob Kufis, the Final Boss, Bloodline Rules, Tim Higgins, Trent Head, Trevor Harder. Come on, go to the next page. Trevor Shiflett, Two Slapped Cupid, Tycho, Tyler Bouchard, Tyler Logan, Tyler McGarry, Undead, Unknown Zero, Vacant going over Ellie Knight, Vegan Penguin, Verzo, Voidsy, Wade, Juan Pablo III, White Mexican, William Newton, W. Kelly FM, Zach Zmira, Yo Girlside, Zach Griffin, Zach Westing, Zachary Rhodes, Zach Butcher, Zay2K, needs Santi to oil up, Zeke loves Zergzito, and Just in Case. Thank you guys very much for supporting the Wrestling is Cool podcast. Thank you all for watching and listening, whether you were on Patreon or on free feeds. You guys take care. Be wonderful people. Goodbye, everybody.